Let me do a couple things here, little adjustments. It's called a little adjusting. A little adjusting. There we go. I bet this thing's going to fall over and fuck everything up. Because that is how my life works. How are we looking? Robert's here. Holy shit. First. Robert with the first. There we go. Chase is back too. Tarnish, oh my goodness. Holy crap. All right. Let me. I got to do a couple things here before we get rolling. Okay. Curso, Wonder Max. Oh my God. Dude, we got a bunch of people in here already. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to click on this. I need to click on that. Jay, making a game. What should the next cannon fodder enemy's gimmick be? Oh, you have to give me a little bit more than that. You have to give me a little bit more than that, Tarnish. You know I love video games. Oh, speaking of that. So a couple of you guys said that you want me to do a video of the time that I spent working over at THQ. That's in the works. So I was talking to my friend Sean that I did that last live stream with about his website. Strange shit happens. So that's how I met him, was at THQ. So we're gonna do a THQ talk stream, and I'm also gonna get Byron. I don't know if you guys watched that stream. I told a story about a guy named Byron. I reached out to Byron, haven't talked to him in like 15 years, maybe more. And Byron's in, I think. I'm working on it. So we're gonna do a THQ stream, what it was like to work in one of the biggest video game publishers ever, and all of that. Tarnish sent flour for 30 joules. Thank you very much for that. I made one that just chases you around and deal damage. Ooh. How about a Pringles can? What do you think? How about an old Pringles can? Jake Ryder, how are you? Man, we got a lot of people in here. Wow. You know, it's crazy. That last Shaturday was a lot of fun. And then I got flooded again with some more emails than voicemails. And that's fine. That's all right. I got my coffee. I'm ready to go. Well, you guys want to start off with this one? It's called I Pooped Myself at Church. Ah, shit. Oh, man. We could do that one. That one came in this morning. Or do you guys want to go back and do some of the older ones that we didn't get to last time? And knock those out first. We could do that. I'm going to leave this up to you guys. While you guys are milling that over, I got to give a shout out to our friend Megan, who came up with the whole idea of Shaturday Night Live. And the whole reason why I was doing the Shaturdays around noon is because my wife would be at work and I had the house to myself and there'd be no distractions. And I just thought, well, how about Saturday at noon? That works. But Megan came up with this gimmick of doing it at night and calling it Shaturday Night Live. And I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant. And then I put up the poll. You guys voted. I'm like, what time do you guys want to do it? It's not so, I'm pretty wide open. So I was thinking, well, how about you guys pick? Because some of you guys are on the East Coast. Some of you guys are getting buried in fucking fake snow and ice and shit right now. Lambo guy, you just got off work. Nice, you made it. Thoughts on Zins? You know, isn't it like tobacco or something? Like it's chew, but they're in like little pouches. Hey, to each their own. Everybody has to have a vice. Mine used to be drinking, and I quit that. Kind of had to. That's a story in itself, and it's not a fun one. So I don't think I'd be putting that up. But love you too. Thanks for that. Yeah, 420. I do take edibles. That's my thing. You know, come home at night, take an edible, and I am smooth sailing for the rest of the night. Caitlin, holy shit. Where can I share a story? You can submit a story. You can click on the description on the live thing. There's two ways you can submit a story. You could leave me a voicemail. You could go to speakpipe.com. I'll put it in the chat. Speakpipe.com/JShuffleboson. Speakpipe.com. JShuffleboson. You can do that. You can click on that link right there. Or you can email me at tahoeweather@aol.com. There we go. Do I hate the computer? I'm fine with my fucking computer, but there's always technical problems when I try and stream live from my computer. You'll notice this evening I was only like 2 minutes late streaming. That's because I was getting my coffee and setting up my phone. Yeah. I was just about to listen to Nick Crowley. Mr. Crowley! And I remember you're going live tonight. Oh, I appreciate that. Paint, how are you? Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, I was thinking, well, should I do it at noon again? And I was thinking, and then Megan said, oh, yeah, you got to do Saturday Night Live. I'm like, that's freaking genius. And I love it, and we're doing it. So here we are at 6 o'clock. This is a nice change. All right, so you guys are thinking the newer ones first, right? Robert, was the turd really a bit bigger? Yeah, dude. Yeah. One of these days, I'm going to head back out to Gilroy, and I'm going to stop at that Target, and I'm going to stream that shit. Live from Lake Tahoe, it's Saturday night. All right. Well, how about we do this? How about we do a couple of the new ones, and then we'll go to the older ones, and then we'll just kind of meet in the middle. That works. Fuck, and this is like a 10-page one. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here's the first one just sent in today. Let me see. 1 hour music. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Fucking high fives and boners. Oh my God. I don't know what these jewels do, but thank you. I should ask Grok or ChatGPT what the jewels were for. Cool. All right. This one's called I Pooped Myself at Church. The sanctuary smelled of polished oak and old hymnals as I stepped behind the pulpit that Sunday morning. The congregation had already settled into their usual places, front row, faithful with straight backs, families with fidgeting children in the middle pews, and the quiet regulars who always took the last row as if they might need a quick exit. That's like every church. Sunlight filtered through the stained glass in the long colored shafts, painting the carpet red and blue. Everything felt orderly, predictable, and sacred. I wore the black robe with the white stole draped over my shoulders, the one I'd pressed myself the night before. Oh, you must be a Catholic. My sermon notes rested on the lectern, typed in a clean 12-point font. The bulletin listed the order of worship. Invocation, hymn 342, responsive reading, then the sermon titled The Weight of Grace. After that would come communion. Yeah, Catholic. The part I always approached with the most care. Today, the elements were already prepared on the small table beside the pulpit. Unleavened by leaving, I can't, I don't know what that word is. You're rude. Hi, how are you? Where was I? Okay, bread under a white cloth, grape juice in individual cups arranged in neat rows on the silver tray. Guys, I think this is the first one that we got from a preacher. This is I got a good feeling about this one. Okay, my stomach has been uneasy since breakfast. I blamed the oatmeal, or perhaps a second cup of coffee I gulped too fast while reviewing the scripture passages. Nothing dramatic, just a low, persistent churn. So I told myself it would pass. Bodies sometimes protest on Sunday mornings. It was practically tradition. The prelude ended. The choir director gave me the downbeat, and the congregation rose for the opening hymn. I lifted my arms in the familiar gesture and began to pray the invocation aloud, voice steady, words measured. Halfway through the second sentence, a sharper cramp folded inward below my navel. Not pain exactly, more like a sudden tightening, as though someone had wrapped the belt around my intestines and pulled. I finished the prayer without pause, lowered my hands, and sat in the tall chair behind the pulpit while the choir sang the Entwite, whatever that was. The cramp released, then returned stronger. I crossed my legs at the ankles and pressed my knees together. The robe helped hide the small adjustments. I breathed slowly through my nose, counting the beats of the hymn in my head. 4 more verses, and then the responsive reading. Then the sermon. I can make it to the sermon. The choir sat, I stood again. The responsive reading went smoothly enough, though each time I spoke the leader's part, I felt the pressure build another notch. By the time we reached the final response, blessed be the name of the Lord, my lower abdomen felt packed tight, a solid weight pressing downward. I remained standing while the ushers passed the offering plates, using the moment to shift my weight from one foot to the other. The motion only made things worse. Something warm and liquid moved inside me, testing the seal. I smiled at the congregation as the plates returned to the front. They smiled back. A few nodded, assuming the expression was pastoral warmth. I felt sweat bead along my hairline beneath the neatly combed hair. Oh God, this is gonna get. There she is, Princess Raina. Oh, Johnny, we got a preacher here that's about to poop himself in church. We've been doing this 5 years, and this is a first, man. This is getting good. The sermon began. I opened with the story of the prodigal son, the way I always did when I wanted to ease into heavier themes. The words came out automatically. I had preached this text enough times that the transitions felt like well-worn steps. Halfway down the first page of notes, though, the pressure shifted again, this time decisively. A long, silent bubble of gas pressed against the exit and held there. Oh, Jesus. I paused mid-sentence, pretending to consult my Bible, and clenched everything I had. The bubble retreated, but only part way. It sat there, waiting. Oh. I moved to the second point, the Father's extravagant welcome. My voice stayed even. The congregation listened, some taking notes, others simply watching with the mild attention people give when they trust the speaker will eventually arrive at hope. I trusted myself to arrive there too, if only my body would cooperate. 10 minutes in, the cramps returned in waves, each one lasting longer than the last. I gripped the sides of the pulpit harder than necessary. knuckles whitening under the stole. The robe hung loose enough that no one could see the way my thighs trembled. I shifted again, trying to find a position that eased the strain. Nothing worked. The weight had grown urgent and insistent, alive. I transitioned to the third point, the older brother's resentment, and felt the first real leak. Not much, a small warm slip that soaked into the cotton of my underwear and stopped. I froze. The sentence I had been speaking trailed off for a half a second before I recovered it. No one seemed to notice, or if they did, they attributed the pause to dramatic effect. The clock on the back of the wall read 11:18. Communion was scheduled for 11:35. 17 minutes. I could hold it for 17 minutes. The sermon ended sooner than planned. I cut the final illustration short, summarized the application in 3 sentences instead of 5, and invited the congregation to stand for the closing hymn before communion. A few people glanced at their watches, surprised by the early finish, but most simply rose and opened their hymnals. I remained standing at the pulpit while the organist played the introduction. The hymn was Amazing Grace, slow and familiar. I sang the first verse with them, voice thin but audible. On the second verse, the next leak came, larger this time. Warmth spread across the seat of my briefs and then began to creep down the inside of one thigh. I locked my knees and prayed the floor would swallow me. It did not. When the hymn ended, I stepped to the communion table. The bread and cup waited under their cloths. I lifted the cloth from the bread with my hands that shook only slightly. My voice, when I spoke the words of institution, sounded distant to my own ears. This is my body broken for you. I broke the loaf. The sound was louder than it should have been in the quiet room. Crumbs fell onto the white linen. I passed the plate to the lead usher, who began the distribution. While the trays moved down the aisles, I returned to the table and lifted the cloth from the cups. The small glasses caught the light, each one reflecting a tiny stained glass window. This is my blood poured out for you. The sentence came out hoarse. I cleared my throat and repeated it, steadier this time. The ushers moved along the pews. People took the cups, held them, and waited. I could feel the mess now, soft, spreading, warm against my skin. It had soaked through the underwear and began to wick into the fabric of my slacks. The robe still hid everything, but the smell would come soon. Already I caught the faintest whiff of it myself, sour and unmistakable. I swallowed hard. When the last tray returned to the table, I took my own cup and bread. I raised them both, said the words again for myself as much as for the congregation, and consumed the elements. The grape juice tasted metallic. The bread stuck to the roof of my mouth. I set the empty cup down. The congregation remained standing, waiting for the benediction. I lifted my hands. May the Lord bless you and keep you. My voice cracked on the second syllable. I pressed on. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. After another small release happened then. Not gas, not liquid, but a slow, inevitable slide of solid matter. It pushed past the ruined barrier of my clothing and settled heavily against the left cheek. The robe concealed the bulge, but I felt every gram of it. Heat radiated outward. The smell grew stronger. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. I lowered my hands. The congregation responded with the amen, soft and scattered. A few heads bowed, children shifted. Someone in the back coughed. I did not sit. I couldn't. Instead, I remained standing at the pulpit while the organist began the postlude. People gathered at their coats, Bibles, purses. They filed out slowly, shaking hands with the ushers at the doors. Several approached me on their way past, older women mostly, offering the usual compliments on the sermon, asking me about my week, mentioning the beautiful weather. I nodded, smiled, murmured thanks. My hands stayed clasped behind my back so no one would notice the tremors. One man lingered longer than the rest. He was new, visiting from out of town. He thanked me for the message, said it had spoken to him. I thanked him in return, my voice barely above a whisper. He hesitated and leaned in slightly. You all right, Pastor? You look a little pale. Fine, I said. Just a long morning. He nodded, unconvinced, but moved on. When the last person left the sanctuary, I remained where I was. The organist finished the postlude, gathered her music, and slipped out the side door without looking back. The room fell silent except for the faint hum of the furnace kicking on in the basement. I waited another full minute listening to the building settle. Then I took one step. That movement shifted everything. What had been contained now slid further, spreading across both ass cheeks and beginning to creep down the back of my thighs. The slacks clung wetly. Each step made a soft, obscene sound. I walked the length of the center aisle, past the empty pews, past the spot where the offering plates had rested, past the baptismal font still draped on it in its Sunday cloth. At the narthex, I paused. The double doors to the parking lot stood closed. Beyond them, I could hear the car engine starting, voices calling goodbye, children laughing. I turned instead toward the hallway that led to the sacristy. My office was there in the small bathroom no one ever used except me. The walk took longer than it should have. Every step redistributed the load. By the time I reached the bathroom door, my legs trembled so badly I had to brace myself up against the wall. Inside, I locked the door. The mirror above the sink showed a man in a black robe, face flushed, eyes wide. I removed the stole first, folding it carefully, even though the gesture felt absurd. Then the robe. When it came to the damage, it was way worse than I had imagined. The slacks were stained dark from mid-thigh downward. The underwear was beyond salvageable. Brown streaks marked the inside of the robe's lining where the mess had wicked upward. It went upwards. Oh. I stood there for a long moment, breathing through my mouth. The smell filled the small space. I reached for paper towels and then stopped. There was no cleaning this in 10 minutes. No quick fix. Instead, I sat on the closed toilet lid, still clothed, still ruined, and let my head drop into my hands. The sermon replayed in fragments behind my eyes. The farther running to meet the sun, the extravagant robe placed on filthy shoulders, grace that arrives before the confession is even spoken. I stood there until the building grew completely quiet. Then I stood, removed the soiled clothing piece by piece, wrapped everything in trash bags from the janitor's closet, and dressed in the spare clothes I kept for emergencies. Smart man. Smart man. Gray pants and a plain sweatshirt. The robe and stole went into a second bag. I would deal with them later. When I finally stepped outside, the sun had moved higher. The parking lot was empty except for my car. I placed the bags in the trunk, started the engine, and drove home without turning on the radio. Later that afternoon, after the longest shower of my life, I sat at the kitchen table with a cup of tea that I didn't drink. The phone stayed silent. No one called to ask if I was feeling all right. No one had texted to say they noticed something was off. Perhaps they hadn't noticed. Perhaps they had and chose kindness over curiosity. I opened my Bible to Luke 15 and read the parable again, slowly this time. The father does not wait for the son to clean himself up. He runs while the boy is still covered in pig filth, robe already in hand. The embrace happens before the bath. The celebration begins in the smell of the far country. I closed the book and stared at the wall. Tomorrow would be another service, another sermon, another chance to stand behind the pulpit and speak words I still believed, even if my body had betrayed me in the worst possible way. I did not know yet whether I would tell anyone what happened. Probably not. Some failures are too complete to be redeemed by explanation. But I knew I would stand there again. I would lift my hands again, and I would speak the words again, because grace, it turns out, does not require a clean pair of pants. Amen. Wow. That was something. That was something. What a way to start off the night. Oh, geez, King of the Castle. That sounds terrible. You could kind of feel it coming on. Here's something poop relief. My uncle changed my cousin's diaper and there was a big poop explosion. Oh, God. My cousin rolled over. My uncle reached to grab him and he ended up grabbing. It's all over my arm. Oh, that's disgusting. Brody, yeah, send it. Send it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. I got a lot. I don't know if I'll get to everything. Guys, we may have to do another one. Okay. Some of them are longer, so you know it takes a while. Where do I send it? Let me put it in the. Well, there's two things. You could leave me a voicemail if you'd rather do that, or you could email me. You could type it out and email it to me. Whatever you want to do. I'll give you the voicemail one first. J Shuffleboson. Okay, so that's the link for the voicemail if you want to do that, or you could email me. Oh, you can do that. There you go. All right, all right. Okay. Here we go. This didn't happen today. It went down around several years ago, but it feels like it happened yesterday. I'm 23 years old, by the way. I warn you, the amount of cringe contained in this is over 9,000. Also, English is not my native language, so please don't be jerks about my grammar. Dude, English may not be your first language, but there's some people that send me emails where it is, and I can barely read the fucking things. Yeah, I'll try and get to all the voicemails today. All right, so here we go. This story begins on my girlfriend's couch. She lived in a big house outside the city with her parents, and we had been dating for around 2 months, so the relationship was great. Oh, that's new. And we were in that phase where everything feels like eating an entire double cheese pepperoni pizza in the middle of the night while high or drunk. For vegans, it's like eating grass, I guess. Anyways, we're cuddling and watching an episode of Friends when all of a sudden I feel it. It's a fucking freight train sliding down my rectum and it won't stop for nothing. Just so you know, I'm the kind of person who can't take a shit unless I'm at my crib and there's a good amount of silence. Public places, and especially my girlfriend's house, is a big nope for me. But I just couldn't hold this one in any longer. Fast forward to the part where I'm in the bathroom finishing my delivery, which went great to tell you the truth. It was one of those shits for which you don't need to wipe more than once because it's too compact to leave anything behind and also lets you get out of the bathroom in a very small amount of time. Except this time, the fucking toilet betrayed me and didn't flush. The toilet's tank had no water. Oh, shit. Robert, that turd at Target, it was the exact same size as a fucking Pringles can. Maybe a bit bigger. Maybe a bit bigger. And the thing is that this happened in 2007. We had cell phones, but a lot of them didn't have cameras on them. And the ones that did have cameras on them, it was like 4 megapixels. You know, it's like really, really, really terrible. I don't know if I had a cell phone at that time. Oh, yeah, I must have. But I was in such fucking shock that I didn't stop to think that it needed to be photographed. I guess, you know, I've taken all kinds of different kinds of shits. You know, if there's some doctors' offices that have like the poop poster, and it tells you what different types of fecal matter it is and whether or not it's healthy and everything. I've had everything on that fucking poster, but I've never seen one like a Pringles can on it. It looked like one of those, like those fake, you know, it almost looked fake at first. Like it was like one of those stupid gags that you could buy at like Spencer's Gifts to like prank your buddies and everything. But it was a fucking turd though. It was real. I was just so bewildered by how large it was and like what kind of fucking Nephilim walked into the Target bathroom. Was it like Andre the Giant that did this or something? I just have so many questions and I was just so like in shock. I didn't stop to think to take a picture. It's like the time I saw a UFO. I watched those fucking things fly for like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and I never took my eyes off it. Not that I have a nice cell phone that can take good pictures, but maybe I should have done something. People don't think about that stuff. When people are, well, if UFOs are real, how come you don't see people filming it? You don't think about doing it when you're seeing it because you're like, holy shit, is that a UFO? Holy shit, is that a fucking Pringles can? One of those things. Oh yeah, it was freaking. Did it traumatize me? Brody. I can't get it out of my mind. Here's something I'm thinking about doing, guys. I'm thinking about going to a therapist and recording the session and just bringing up the Target incident and see what the therapist's reaction would be and what kind of advice that they can offer me. I think that could be like a fun video I could upload. What's even better, guys, is that there's like there's therapists the therapy sessions that you could do online, like through Zoom or something. I could record that and I could put that up. But I don't know if I get in trouble. You know what I mean? I think that'd be better than me just hiding my fucking cell phone in my shirt pocket and recording everything. I think it would be funny. I think it'd be great. I think I might risk it. Tell us about the Asian massage shop. Oh my God. Did you guys see that video about the rub and tug? So to make a long story short, I pulled a muscle bad in my leg and my foot around my instep, and I can barely put weight on it and walk. And my wife is friends with a gal that runs a massage therapy business up here. Get consent to record, it'll work. Yeah, I'll do that. I'd absolutely have to do that. Anyway, so my wife said, well, call what's her name and see if she could get you in and she could work on your leg. And so I reached out to her and she said, I'm booked out for the next 2 weeks. I'm like, that does not do me any good at all right now. So I went on Google and I'm typing in massage therapy, and there's nothing up in where I live in Tahoe. I mean, it's very selective there. I mean, where I live at, there's not a lot of shit. It's like I have to go off the mountain. I have to go down to Reno or Carson City. And so I'm like, okay. I found this one in Carson City, and I called the number, and it was an Asian woman, and her English was real bad. And that should have been the first clue for me. Yeah, exactly. I have a long track record with rub and tugs, with Jack Shacks. And so it's like, okay, well, yeah, the English ain't great, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Seb, how are you? And so I call up and I said, do I need an appointment? She's like, no, come in. It's fine. I said, okay, I'll be there. I'm going to get out of here. I'll be there at 1 o'clock. Okay, 1 o'clock. And so I drive down and then I go there. And for 30 minutes, it was $50. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot of money. But I'm in agony. I'm dying. And she's all, is it going to be cash or card? And I said, it's going to be on my card. She said, okay, it's extra $10. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck, whatever. All right, so now we're at $60 for a 30-minute massage. She slides the thing over. I put my card in, and it's asking for a tip. I'm a generous tipper. I like the tip. And so I put in the tip, and after the transaction, it's $71. Guys, your Uncle Jay makes $15 an hour. It takes me a long time to make $71 at work. And this is for 30 minutes. And she said, okay, follow me. So we go down the hall. She opens up a door. I walk in, and there's a massage table. The place looked legit. And she closes the door behind me. She doesn't say, lay down, get comfortable. Somebody be right here. Nothing. She just fucking left me. Right? And I'm looking around, and I see this thing on the wall. It's in a frame, cheap frame. And that's the thumbnail to the video. It's a disclaimer saying don't even bother asking for sexual stuff. This is a massage place. You'll be asked to leave. It's against the law, blah, blah, blah. I took a picture of it because I've never seen one in a massage place before. Not even in the one in Toronto. Well, the one in Toronto, it's, you know what you're getting into. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one where Pat beat up a guy. He was in Reno last week. He was in or 2 weeks ago. Sent me an email out of nowhere. Jay, I'm stuck in Reno. I need you to come get me. I told my wife, and she said, no. Anyway, so I'm in my underpants. I lay down on this massage table, and in walks a different woman. And I lift up my foot, and I'm pointing at it, and I'm like, I'm dying here. I need my leg rubbed. And she just kind of, whatever. It's like she wasn't. It's like she understood, but not really. And I'm like, all right. So I lay down, and then she leaves the room, and she comes back, and she starts lathering me in baby oil, and I feel like a fish now, right? I'm like, what the fuck is this? $71, and she's avoiding every knot on my back, like she's tiptoeing through a Vietnamese minefield. And she gets to my lower back. And then she slides a finger down the side of my underpants, the elastic, and she's like, you take off. And I said, you fuck off. And I hopped up. She Kool-Aid's out of the room. And I put my pants back on, my shirt and everything. Like, this is horseshit. And I go out of there, and the madam, all right, the lady that runs the place, oh, no, come back. I'm so sorry. Come back, it's free. I'll give you 30 minutes, half hour massage for free. I'm like, fuck you. I got the red ass. $71 I paid. And she's like, come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow then. You calm down. 9 o'clock, I'll be here. Okay. So I show up at 9 o'clock, and that woman rubbed my leg for me for a half hour. She was terrible at it, but at least fucking she put some effort into it. And again with the damn baby oil. And guys, and I drove off. I was pissed. My friend Tracy, she told me that she used to work in banks, and she said, you know what, you should have contested that transaction. You could have called the bank. And I told my wife that, and she said, well, you did return, and you got services for 30 minutes that you did pay for, so you can't really contest the charge. I'm like, yeah, that's true. And then my friend Jocelyn said, and I wasn't going to snitch. These women have bills too, and there's guys out there that are looking for hand jobs. That's not why I was there, obviously. So I'm like, I don't want to ruin this for everybody here. But my friend Jocelyn said that, you know what, there's a lot of sex trafficking going on, and you might want to call a cop and tell them this story. So, I should put up a poll. Should I put up a poll? Should I snitch or not? I don't know. When he did the impression of the Asian lady's voice, it reminded me of Miss Swan from Mad TV. He looked like a man. Call the cops and then record it and post it. Okay. Real Biffler says, no. I tell you everything. Yes, Jade. Yes, tell him. Should I do a poll? How do I do a poll? I don't know. Oh, King, no, dude, this was 2 weeks ago. Dude. Yeah, this just fucking happened. And I was out $71. I worked my ass off for that, dude. Like, fuck, you know? If it was like $40 or something, I wouldn't have come back or whatever. But I was like, I'm getting my fucking money's worth somehow. I know she's not going to fucking tip me. I mean, give me my money back in the tip. The truth shall set you free. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I should probably put up a fucking poll. I don't know how to do that, though. That's all right. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll put up the poll, see what you guys say, and then I'll put up a video. But I don't want to disclose the location of this place because I kind of want to. I don't want them to get in trouble from you guys. Not saying you do anything, but no, don't send me any fucking money. Lambo, stop that shit. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't encourage them. Don't fucking do it, dude. I'll shut this stream off if you fucking give me money. We gotta get back to this this guy's shit story. All right. Girlfriend's couch, eating pizza. He can't shit unless he's at home. The toilet won't flush because there's no water in it. I turn on the hand washer and it works. So okay. So here's the problem right there. I'm going to get a huge bonus. Well, dude, you've earned that. You keep that. Don't give that a fucking away. If there's no water in the tank, is because the water shut off at the bottom of the tank where the water intake is for that toilet. You just go and turn that on. Yeah, Robert, stop. Fucking stop it. All right, I turn on the hand washer. It works. So I try filling the tank, carrying water with my hands. It won't work. I'm getting water all over the floor, getting it wet, and it'll take an eternity and a half. So I'm panicking now. I don't want this to be my first impression at her house, and I'm running out of options. I tilt my face to the sky and pray for help, and suddenly I see the light, which is passing through a small rectangular window near the ceiling. I open it up, I lift myself up, and I see that there's plants on the outside. Without thinking too much about the fucking risk, here it is. This is it. I grab my brown sun and throw it out the window. Success! They won't be able to smell it, and I'll also feed the plants. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing them a favor. I wash my hands and head to the couch again, only to hear my girlfriend's mother downstairs screaming my girlfriend's name at the top of her voice and then shouting, "Both of you get the fuck over here. Fuck!" As I follow her downstairs, my head's panicking. I know he flung shit out the window and hit his girlfriend's mom. I know something must have gone wrong with my shit, but at the bottom of my heart, I still have faith that maybe her mom is screaming about something else. Oh my God. We find her mom standing besides the maid in the laundry patio, which is a room right beside the house with a sliding roof and a door that faces the garden where the maid does the laundry and hangs the clothes on sunny days to dry. And I see my shit laying on top of the washing machine. Oh, fuck. He threw his shit out and almost hit the fucking maid. Oh, God. Okay, what am I missing here? What am I missing here? I can't send you money, but here's a... Oh, yeah, thanks for the emojis. That works. That's fun. Thank you for that. Oh. Why am I watching this stream while I'm eating? Dude, I don't know. Yeah, he threw the turd out the window. Have you heard of Wings of Redemption's poop story from the PKA podcast? It's up there. I don't even know what that podcast is, but I get to hear that. My mom is missing. Go get your mom. Get her. What the fuck is this shit? Shouted the mother. That didn't sound funny at the moment. Now I'm assuming the maid witnessed the whole thing and is in a state of shock. I look at my girlfriend's mom and then at my girlfriend, who looks at me as if I'm a monster. I can see the love in her eyes gradually vanishing. My reaction to this situation is to turn around while saying, no, 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 and head to the house entrance to get the fuck out of that place. My girlfriend shouts my name as I'm escaping, to which I responded, no, no, no. I run to my car, turn on the engine, and book it as they are running out with the what the fuck face. That was it. I wasn't mature or intelligent enough to just say to my girlfriend that the toilet wasn't fucking working, and instead I made the worst possible decision of my life. he grabbed his shit and he flung it out the window and hit the fucking hit the washing machine. Oh man. Thank you. Yeah, that burp was lovely. Oh my god, you guys, that's so fucking funny. We're 2 stories in and both of them are amazing. Oh, how about a voicemail? Here we go.
What the fuck's up, Uncle Jay? I hope you're doing very well today. Have I got a shitty story for you? So the past 2 nights, I have been shitting out these really long sausage-like poops. But oh my gosh, this is how I describe them. They look like your stereotypical farmer's carrots, like thick at the top and then like thin at the bottom. They look like freaking pencils, for crying out loud. But pencil-sized shit coming out of my ass. So there you go then. And oh my freaking lord, I am still surprised that they managed to go down the toilet. Yeah, it just took like one flush and then boom, they went down the toilet. So there you go then.
That's fucking funny.
I took large poops. There you go. Bye.
That's fucking funny. That's funny. Oh. That's a funny one. You know, like those practical joke pencils that are like super giant and big and you can barely hold them. Honey, the first poop story of the day was from a pastor shitting himself or giving a sermon. And the second one was a guy, he was upstairs at his girlfriend's place. She's living with her mom. He had to use the toilet, so he took a shit. Water wouldn't flush because there was no water in the tank, but the sink had water pressure. So somebody had turned the valve off. He thought he could put water in, scoop it. He gave up on that.
Did he pee in the tank?
No, did he pee in the tank? Oh, that's brilliant. That would have worked. No, what he did was he opened up the window and he grabbed the turd and he threw it out the window. Then he heard his girlfriend's mom yell out. And she yelled out, "You guys get the fuck down here." And they went downstairs. They went outside. They're doing laundry out there, hanging clothes to dry and everything. And the turd landed on the washing machine out there. And he just hauled ass. He got his car, took off, and they chased after him.
Oh no.
Oh shit, that's so funny. What did I do here? Yeah, my wife is she's getting tea and she's watching Blacklist.
I'm watching The Diplomat.
She's watching the Diplomat on the Netflix. We're almost done with Landman. Oh. Okay. Oh, we got a voicemail from Bob. Here we go. Let me click on this. Here we go.
Okay, so this just happened about a week ago. I tried to get in for last Saturday, but I didn't have enough time, so I'm doing it today. So I went to Myers with my dad, and Myers is basically a Michigan chain of stores, kind of like Kroger or Walmart. But I had to take a piss really bad, so I got there and I went into the bathroom, and it smelled so fucking bad. Like, it was so much shit. It smelled like some big fat dude took a mean ass shit. And I'm trying to piss, and then some black dude comes in to take a piss, and he's coughing and shit. He's gagging on the press, and I turned to him and I was like, bro, it smells like shit in here. It's man, fuck. He's coughing and shit, and I'm like, somebody fucked this bitch up. And he's still coughing and shit, and I wash my hands, I get the fuck out of there. And he's still gagging on it, bro. It smells so bad in there, bro. Holy shit.
That's so funny when you can deflect it to where it was actually somebody else's shit and not yours. Oh my God. Here we go. I heard a couple of horror stories being sent in to Shaturday, and I figured I'd send one that happened to me. It's not quite as bad as people standing in your backyard in the middle of the night, but it's up there. That was fucking crazy. Were you guys here last week for that story? How that dude was fucking singing Christmas carols and shit, and then went in his backyard. Dude, that was a crazy story. Let's see what this one is. Back in 2020, when the pandemic, the Hong Kong flu, the sweet and sour sicken, was still causing all kinds of bullshit, I started driving for Uber to make ends meet. I was laid off from my retail job and needed some quick income. The thing about rideshare gigs is you see all kinds of people, especially when you're working late nights like I was. There were awkward encounters, drunk passengers, weird conversations, but none of that compares to what happened one Friday night in October. It was a little after midnight, and I just dropped someone off at a hotel near the outskirts of town. My app pings almost immediately with a new request. The pickup location was about 6 minutes away in front of a bowling alley that was part of a strip mall. Pretty standard stuff. The name on the ride said Derek. I accepted it and started heading over. The area was quiet when I arrived, just a few dim parking lot lights, no cars in sight. The bowling alley looked closed, but there was a man standing alone under one of the lights wearing a gray hoodie and jeans. He was tall, about 6'2", hands in his pockets, head down like he was looking at his shoes. As I pulled up, he looked at me but didn't wave or move. I rolled down the window and I said, "Are you Derek?" He nodded slowly and walked over, got in the back seat behind me. I started the trip and asked him if the destination in the app was correct, an address about 20 minutes away in a residential neighborhood I'd never been to. He said, "Yeah, that's right," in a quiet, calm voice. I remember thinking he sounded a little off. Not drunk or high, just sort of flat, emotionless. But I didn't think too hard about it at the time. I was driving, and he didn't say anything for the next 5 or 6 minutes. I glanced at him in the rearview mirror now and then, and every time I looked, he was staring straight ahead, not out the window or at his phone, just at the back of my head. I tried to break the silence by asking how his night was going. He paused and then said, "I just need to get out of there." I just needed to get out of there. I asked, out of where? He said, "Doesn't matter." So I didn't push it. We drove a while longer. About 15 minutes in, I realized we were getting closer to the destination, but the address was in a really isolated part of town. No street lights, big yards, lots of trees. As we approached the address, he suddenly leaned forward and said, "Actually, can you pull into that driveway right there?" And he pointed to a house on the right. The house was dark, no lights on inside or out. It looked old and abandoned, honestly. It had an overgrown lawn and paint peeling on the siding. There was also no car in the driveway. I said, "Is this your place?" He said, "Just pull in." I hesitated. but turned into the driveway. I stopped near the front of the house and put the car in park. He didn't get out. I looked back at him and said, "Everything all right?" He stared at the front door and said, "Wait here." Fuck! And got out and he started walking toward the house. He didn't go to the front door. He walked around the side of the building and disappeared from view. I sat there for maybe 2 minutes trying to decide what to do. The ride was still technically going. I didn't want to drive off and get penalized, but I felt like something wasn't right. My gut told me this guy wasn't just heading inside to grab something. Finally, I ended the trip manually. I marked it as complete and started to back out of the driveway. But before I could shift it into reverse, I saw him walking back towards the car, fast. His hands were empty, and he had this strange look on his face like he was angry or excited. I unlocked the doors because I didn't want to make it a confrontation, but something in me was screaming not to let him back in. He opened the rear door and got in and said, "Take me to the other place." I asked, "What other place?" He said, "Just drive, I'll tell you." I said, "I need to put it in the app." He didn't answer. He just stared at me in the mirror. I said again, "I can't take you anywhere unless you put it in the app." He didn't say a word. After a few seconds, he told me to drive to where I picked him up. Fuck, dude. I didn't want to argue anymore, so I just started heading back towards the strip mall. The whole way there, I felt this pressure in the car. He wasn't talking, but I could feel him watching me. The hairs on my arms were standing up. He was still staring at the back of my head. At one point, I tried to lighten the mood again. I said, "Rough night?" He replied, "You can say that." I asked if everything's all right. He said, "Not yet." Whoa. I didn't ask any more questions. We got back to the strip mall. I parked under the same light where I picked him up. But before I could say anything, he leaned forward and asked, "You ever wonder how you're going to die?" I froze. I laughed awkwardly and said, "Not really something I think about." He didn't laugh. He just leaned back in his seat, and after a few seconds, he said, "I think about it all the time." Then he opened the door and got out without another word. He didn't close the door right away. He just stood there for a second, half in and half out of the car. Then he looked at me and said, "You picked the wrong guy up tonight." And he shut the door and walked off in the darkness behind the bowling alley. Fuck, dude. Holy shit. He shut the door and walked off into the darkness behind the bowling alley. I sat there for a minute, too shaken to move. Eventually, I drove home, constantly checking my mirrors. When I got home, I looked at the trip details again. Something was off. The name had changed. It was no longer Derek. It was blank. No name, no profile picture, no trip history. It was like the ride never happened. I contacted Uber support to report it, but they told me the trip data was unavailable. They said sometimes that happens if the app crashes or if the rider cancels midway. But I know what I saw. I know that I completed the trip. I know the man got in and out of the car. And I know what he said. "You picked the wrong guy up tonight. Never seen him again, and I hope I never do. But every time I get a ping in a dimly lit parking lot and have a silent passenger in the back seat, I remember that night. I remember that feeling that something terrible could have happened. That maybe he could have changed his mind at the last second, or maybe he was never planning to do anything, just wanted to scare someone. But I still wonder what he meant and if he ever found the right car." Fuck, dude, that's crazy shit. Don't you guys fucking believe in guns? I love guns. I got a brand new red dot for Christmas. I'm not sure what gun I want to put it on. Yeah, how about another fucking voicemail? Ooh.
All right, so like once I was on a ferry when I was little, and then I had to shit, and we were looking around the entire ferry, and we asked the people on the thing if there was a bathroom, but they said no. So me and my dad, I was younger, so I was with my dad. We had to go to the engine room. So I go to the engine room, and dude, we had gotten some bags from like a stranger, and I take it off my pants in the engine room, and before I can do anything, shit just goes everywhere. So the entire engine room is just covered in shit. And when we leave the thing, like my dad and I, we felt bad, so we offered to clean it up, and they said, "No, we deal with this all the time."
Really? That's fucking crazy. Yeah, where's the poop start part of that story? Dude, people sometimes send me stories that are spooky. I don't know. I love them. I love them. Okay, this is from Reese. In kindergarten, I remember having to take a shit super bad, like unbelievably bad. The one where you are sweating bullets and feeling like an animal is slicing through your colon. Ribbit. I was too young. Well, probably was old enough, just didn't do it at this age to feel comfortable wiping my own ass, especially at someplace other than my house. So my plan was I was just going to hold it in. I had about 2 hours of school left, so there was just no way I was going to make it. But in hindsight, it's 2020. But the sensation came in bursts, so I just thought I could hold out these bursts until school ended as long as I was sitting. Then out of nowhere, my asshole rockets put this mound of shit faster than I thought was possible. It was so fast, like almost like someone teleported into my pants, and then and then an utter shock at this point. And just basically a 1,000-yard stare during the rest of math. Eventually, we have to leave for the gym. And the entire way I hear, "What's that smell? Did someone step in dog poop?" Finally in gym, we're playing volleyball. And everyone's playing. I'm just standing there, upright and completely still. My gym teacher was giving me weird looks and eventually said, "Reese, what's wrong with you? You're just standing there, and every time I walk by, you smell like shit." And I whisper, "I pooped my pants." And he screams, "Then get the hell out of here and clean yourself up. What's wrong with you? Disgusting." And I have no clue what I'm supposed to do, so I just stand in the stall until eventually my dad shows up to pick me up. Later that year, my dad was so proud of me going to the bathroom at school by myself. I have no idea how he found that out. And then when I came home, he made a cake for me. Great times. That's fucking pretty funny. Okay, here we go. Fuck, man. Summer of 2003. I was 19, living in my mom's basement in Cali, working third shift at the auto parts warehouse just so I could afford gas and shitty weed. Primus was coming to my area on the tour. Nice. Les, Lur, and Tim, the Holy Trinity, reunited after all that Frog Brigade and Oysterhead side project bullshit. That's incredible. I've been waiting for this since I was 14. I sold plasma twice that month to buy the ticket. Nice, dude. That's awesome. $42 felt like robbery. Pre-gamed at the old Miami on Cass. Dollar drafts at those greasy-ass $2 chili dogs they kept on the roller thingy since probably the Carter administration. I smashed 3 chili dogs and washed them down with 4 tall PBRs and a shot of the bottom shelf tequila that tastes like burnt rubber. My stomach was already talking back, but I was 19. You don't listen to your stomach at 19. Stomach's a pussy. You're invincible. Got to there around 7:30. Place was a sweatbox already. No AC worth a damn. Just big industrial fans blowing hot air around. Oh, this is going to be good. Floor was sticky from years of spilt beer and God knows what else. I shoved my way to about 8th row center, right in the splash zone, wearing my beat-to-shit brown frizzle fry shirt I'd gotten at a yard sale for $3. Felt like a king. Opener was some local funk metal band but they sucked. I was too busy chugging the $5 bottled water that tasted like warm plastic. My guts were starting to churn like a cement mixer full of hot tar, and I ignored it. Classic move. Finally, the lights drop. That low, ominous bass rumble starts. Les Claypool struts out in the rainbow mohawk wig with those big bug-eye sunglasses and a tie-dye shirt that looked like it lost a fight with a paint factory. Laura's got the fucked up white guy dreads and the double neck guitar bass monstrosity. Tim's just sitting there looking bored as hell behind the kit like he knows he's about to make everyone's face melt. They open with "To Defy the Laws of Tradition." Yeah, they always open up with that one. Crowd loses its shit. I'm jumping, screaming, beer sloshing out of the plastic cup I snuck in. Life is perfect. Then they hit "Jerry Was a Race Car Driver." That's when the first warning shot fires. It starts as this deep, bubbly gurgle, like someone's blowing bubbles in a milkshake made of death. I clench everything. Ass, abs, soul. I think about baseball. I think about my grandma's fruitcake. Anything but the volcano waking up in my lower intestines. I tell myself, you're fine. You've held it through worse. Remember that time you ate 3 White Castles and drove to Toledo with no stops? This is nothing. Then they go straight into My Name is Mud. The bass is so heavy, it's rearranging my skeleton. Every time Tim pounds the kick, it feels like a sledgehammer in my guts. Oh my God, I should probably try and email this to them. I'm doing the poop shuffle now, rocking heel to toe, little knee bends, praying for divine intervention. Halfway through Mud, I feel the first traitor leak. Just a tiny squirt, warm, wet, undeniable. I freeze mid headbang. My eyes go wide. I can feel it spreading across my left cheek like spilled ramen broth. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. I try to play it off, keep bouncing like nothing happened, but my boxers are now officially a crime scene. The smell hits me next. Rotten eggs, chili grease, pure regret. It's not normal poop smell either. It's biological warfare. I start slowly backing up. Every step a gamble. The crowd's packed so tight, I'm basically dry humping strangers just to move. Someone elbows me in the ribs. I almost lose control right there. They drop Southbound Pachyderm. 7 damn minutes of sludgy groove. 7 minutes is an eternity when your asshole is doing the electric slide trying not to unleash Armageddon. 3 minutes in during the nasty breakdown, it happens. First a long, wet, bubbly fart that sounds like someone sat on a tube full of pudding. Then, what a fucking description that is. Then the follow-through. Oh, sweet Jesus, the follow-through. It's not a squirt anymore. It's a full-on roaring biblical torrent. Hot liquid shit explodes out like someone uncorked a fire hydrant in my pants. I feel it gush down both legs, soaking my jeans instantly, feeling my shitty airwalks pulling around my ankles. Dude, you're at a concert, too. There's so much of it, it makes an actual splorch when it hits the floor. The people around me notice in waves. First is confusion. Yo, what's that smell? Then disgust. Holy shit, someone shit themselves. And then panic. It's running. It's fucking running. I'm standing in a growing brown lake. My jeans are black from waist to boots. Streaks are visible even in the dim stage lights. A girl in a tank top next to me gags so hard she almost starts puking. A dude with the backwards Limp Bizkit hat looks at me like I just stabbed his mom. I try to give a weak shrug, mouth the words, sorry, like that's going to fix the biohazard I just created. Inside, I'm dead. My soul has left my body and currently taking a Greyhound to Canada. Primus keeps playing. They're pros. They've seen some shit. Les is just slapping away doing that ballerina spin while I'm slowly dissolving into the concrete. Oh my God, you guys, that's so fucking sad. Oh, man. Dude, I'm curious how the rest of that night went. Holy shit, dude. All right, guys, we got another voicemail. It's freaking go.
Yo, so last week I was in school and my teacher shat on me.
What? That's bullshit. I don't believe you. All right. Fuck. All right, here's another one. Friend told me to send you this story of mine, so here it is. Yo, let me tell you about the legendary Thanksgiving when my grandma Evelyn straight up destroyed the toilet and nearly ruined the whole holiday. This is from my view. I was 12 and it was Thanksgiving in 2018 and still the funniest, grossest family story that we got. We all piled into Grandma and Grandpa's big old house in Livonia, just outside Detroit. That place had been in the family forever. Creaky hardwood floors, wallpaper from the 80s, and one decent bathroom downstairs that everybody fights over on the holidays. Upstairs, there's a tiny half bath but it's basically useless when. Wait a minute. Was this one? Is this a repeat from last week? This one sounds familiar. I think this is one that we did from last week, right? I don't know. Should we continue here? Oh, okay. Well, maybe this is a different one. I don't know. All right. Well, let's see. Fuck, we're still live. Hour and 10 minutes. Grandma Evelyn was the queen of Thanksgiving. Tiny lady, about 5'2", always in floral dress with an apron, white hair in a bun, glasses on a chain. She'd been prepping for days. Massive turkey, sage stuffing, garlic mashed taters, gravy from scratch, sweet potato casserole with marshmallows, green bean casserole, homemade cranberry sauce, dinner rolls, and all kinds of pie, 5 kinds, because Grandpa liked it. The house smelled like heaven from Wednesday on. But Grandma had this thing about staying regular. Old people talk, right? She'd been complaining all week about being constipated from some meds or whatever. So the night before, she took her usual laxative tea, but put an extra dose of Miralax in her coffee because it was stubborn. Then Thanksgiving morning, she's roasting her famous Brussels sprouts with bacon, onions, and a shit ton of butter. Everyone rants about them, but they're straight gas bombs, fiber overload. Okay. Dinner hits about 4 o'clock. Long table stretched through the dining room and living room. Kids' table in the corner. We pray, and then it's a free-for-all. Plate stacked high. Grandma's going to town. Extra helping of Brussels. Big scoop of fiber-heavy sweet potatoes. Couple of glasses of that cheap Meridian red wine my Uncle Tony always brings in a box. She's laughing, telling stories when my mom was a kid, making sure nobody's plate is empty. Everything's golden for a while. The Lions game on TV, they were losing as usual. Cousins playing Fortnite on Switch in the basement. Adults arguing about politics like idiots. Then dessert time. Pies lined up around the corner, whipped cream and ice cream. About 45 minutes after eating, Grandma stands up slow, pats her belly, and says, "Excuse me, dears, nature calls." She shuffles off to the downstairs bathroom, the main one, the white porcelain throne from 1970 with old pipes and all. Door clicks shut. No biggie. Old folks take forever sometimes. 10 minutes go by. 20 minutes go by. Pie's being sliced by little cousin Emma, 6 years old, starts dancing around and holding her crotch. "I gotta go potty." Aunt Jen knocks softly. "Mom, you all right?" Grandma hollers back, "Be right out, honey." 30 minutes now. There's a line forming. Emma, my brother, 2 other cousins, all hopping. Uncle Mike, the loud one, jokes, "Ma, you fall in or what?" Couple chuckles. 40 minutes in. Knock again. Grandpa's getting worried now. He's 82. He shuffles over. "Evelyn, you need help in there?" Then that's when her voice comes back all small and embarrassed. "Harold, I think I clogged the toilet bad." The room goes quiet for a second, then nervous laughter. Uncle Mike jumps up. "I got this," runs to the garage for the plunger, but Grandma won't open the door. She's old school Catholic, raised in a time when you wouldn't discuss bowel movements at all, ever. She's mortified. Finally, after some coaxing, she cracks the door an inch, hands out the little plunger from under the sink like it's radioactive, her face beat red. Uncle Mike barges in and immediately gags, "Oh, holy shit, Ma, what died in here?" Description from him later. Toilet bowl filled to the brim with dark water floating above these absolute monster logs, thick as a man's wrist, long, knobby from all the undigested veggie bits. Apparently, the combo of laxatives finally kicked in hard post-dinner, and she unleashed a backlog from hell. Massive, dense turds that wouldn't break up, but she admitted to using almost a whole roll of that ultra-thick quilted northern because it was messy. Clog City. Mike plunges like his life depends on it, splashing toilet water all over the floors and his jeans. No movement. The beast won't budge. Calls in my dad for reinforcement. They take turns plunging, grunting and sweating. Grandma's retreated to the kitchen, pretended to organize leftovers, but she's wringing her hands and whispering prayers. An hour in, the water's overflowing a bit. Brown streaks on the white tile floor. Smells seeping under the door. That sour old person poop mixed with Brussels sprout sulfur. Brutal. Kids are now peeing outside in the bushes. It's 35 degrees. Dark, leaves crunching. Girls are holding it, complaining loudly. Someone finds the upstairs half bath, but the toilet up there starts acting slow too. Same old pipes. Holy shit. Uncle Mike gives up plunging. This ain't budging. We need the snake. But it's Thanksgiving. Even Home Depot's closed. He improvises a wire coat hanger. We just went through this last week. Straightens out and starts poking into the bowl. Bad idea. Breaks one mega turd into chunks, but pushes them deeper into the trap. Now it's worse. Grandma finally comes clean. Pun intended. I haven't gone properly in 5 days, and those laxatives, well, it all came at once. Family's trying not to laugh in her face, but we're behind her back, we're dying. 2 hours post-clog. House reeks faintly of shit. Pies are getting cold. Game's over. Nobody cares. My mom Googles emergency plumbers. Quotes like $500 just to show up on holiday. Grandpa nixed it. I ain't paying for that. I ain't paying for that for a little blockage. Desperation peaks. Uncle Mike and Dad decide on the nuclear option. Remove the whole toilet, take it. Why does everybody do the coat hangers? I don't know. That's fucking funny. They want to take the toilet out. Remove the toilet, take it outside, and rot it properly. They shut off the water valve, grab towels, tools from the basement, unscrew the bolts. You're just opening up the hatch and everything's going to spill out. Unscrew the bolts holding the toilet to the floor. Wax rings, seal breaks. More shit water seeps out. They lift this heavy-ass porcelain bowl full to the rim with nasty water and floating logs. Waddle through the house like it's a bomb, dripping the whole way. Towels soaking it up. Oh my God. Out the back slider to the patio, tip it over in the grass. Massive flood of brown sludge pours out. Giant turds plop it onto the lawn like fallen logs. Steam rising in the cold air. They hose it down with the garden hose, freezing their hands, poking the trap with a stick till it's clear. Pull out wads of soaked toilet paper. Corn kernels from the stuffing, bacon bits from the sprouts. Inside, the floor's a mess. Shit water soaked into the grout under the vanity. Aunties mopping with bleach. Fans going. Windows open. Grandma's sitting in her recliner now, looking defeated, apologizing to everyone. I'm so sorry. I ruined the day. They carry the toilet back in, clean but cold, reinstall it. New wax ring for Grandpa's stash. He had one, thank God. Tighten the bolts, turn the water on, test flush. Miracle, it worked. Roars like normal. Whole family cheers. Claps like they won the lottery. Holy shit, that's fucking... that's fucking funny. Poor Grandma. Oh, man, that's... I feel bad for her. That sucks. Whew. That was a voicemail. Some sound effects going on. Oh my God. Oh, where is it? I just clicked on it. There we go. I didn't poop for 10 days as a kid. So back in the 4th grade, I went to this weird phase where I just didn't poop. Like at all. I didn't even know how it started. Maybe I was eating too much junk food, or maybe I was holding it in at school because the bathrooms were gross and everybody made fun of kids who went number 2 during class. Whatever the reason, it just piled up. Day 1, no big deal. Day 3, I'm starting to feel kind of bloated. Day 5, I'm walking around like I swallowed a basketball. My stomach was as hard as a rock. And I was farting these silent but deadly ones that could clear a room. My mom noticed something was off because I was grumpy as hell and kept rubbing my belly. She's like, Carter, when was the last time you pooped? And I straight up lied and said, yesterday. Classic 10-year-old move. She bought it for a couple days, but by day 7 or 8, even, dude, you could go septic. Even I knew something was seriously wrong. I was sweating, couldn't sit still, and everything I ate just sat in there like concrete. We had this family road trip planned to go visit my grandma up in northern Michigan. It was like a 4-hour drive, and my parents were all excited about it. Me, I'm in the back seat feeling like I'm about to explode, but too embarrassed to say anything. I figured I could just hold it in until we got there. Grandma's house had a nice clean bathroom, you know. Day 9 rolls around and we're packing the car. I'm wearing these baggy sweatpants because anything tight feels like torture. My mom finally corners me and asks me point blank if I pooped in over a week. I mumble something and she freaks out a little. She calls the doctor's office and they're like, give him laxatives, plain of water, he'll be fine. She runs to the store and gets this bottle of chocolate flavored laxative stuff. Tasted like cheap hot cocoa mix, but whatever. I chug it down like a champ because at this point, I just want relief. We hit the road. I wouldn't have I would have stayed there. Dude, if you were my kid, I would have fucking I'm like, we'll get the grandmas when we get there. But first, this kid's got to go shit. Oh, you just finished it, Brody? Sweet. Yeah, we'll get to it. We hit the road maybe an hour later, and I'm thinking, okay, it'll kick in eventually, but probably not till we get there. Famous last words. First hour of the drive is fine. I'm playing my Game Boy, trying to ignore the gurgling in my gut. Second hour, things start moving. Like I feel these rumblings deep down, and suddenly I'm sweating bullets. You just got to say something. You got to speak up, like, pull over. I'm clenching everything I got, praying it to every god I knew at 10 years old. My dad's driving, mom's in the passenger seat reading a magazine. Little sister's next to me watching a DVD on the portable player. Nobody has a clue that I'm in full-on emergency mode back there. About halfway through the trip, we're on this stretch on I-75 with nothing but trees on both sides, no rest stop for miles. That's when the laxatives decide it's go time. I get this sharp cramp and I know it's over. I yell, Dad, I gotta go to the bathroom bad. He's like, buddy, we're in the middle of nowhere. Just hold on to it a little bit longer. I would have immediately pulled off because we're in the middle of nowhere. And that's fucking, there's trees right over there. Get to it. Good luck. I'll look in the trunk for some rags. I try. I really do. I'm gripping the seat, legs crossed, doing that weird breathing thing. But 10 days of backup plus industrial strength laxatives, no chance. This starts coming out. At first, it's just a little, and I'm thinking maybe I could contain it. Then the floodgates open. Hot liquid disaster just pours out right out of me. I'm talking explosive. It's filling my underwear, running down my legs, soaking into my underpants, my sweatpants. The smell hits like a truck. The worst thing you've ever smelled times 10. My sister notices it first. She screams, ew, Carter pooped his pants. My mom whips around, sees the look on my face, and instantly knows what's up. Dad pulls over so fast the tires screech. We're on the shoulder of the highway, cars flying by, and I'm just sitting there in a puddle of my own filth. But wait, it gets worse because it's not done. The laxatives are still working overtime. Every time I move, more comes out. I try to stand up to get out of the car, and that's when it really goes south. Gravity took over, and everything that was in my pants started sliding down and coming out of the bottom of my sweatpant legs. It's dripping into the back seat, onto the floor mat, splattering everywhere. Oh my God, dude. I step out of the car and just unload right there on the side of the highway, like me. It's running down my legs, pulling around in my shoes, getting on the back bumper. I'm just standing there crying, covered in shit. Cars honking as they go by. Oh my God, dude. Dad opens the trunk, grabs this old beach towel we had back there, and wraps it around me like a diaper while my mom is digging through the suitcase for clean clothes. They're both trying not to gag, but the smell is terrible. My sister's in the front seat now, windows down, yelling about how gross I am. They make me strip right there on the side of the road. Underwear, pants, sock, everything goes into a Walmart bag and instantly becomes a biohazard. I'm standing there naked from the waist down, except for this towel, shivering while my dad uses a half pack of baby wipes, trying to clean me up. But there's so much, it's caked everywhere. My mom is on her hands and knees in the back seat with Febreze and paper towels trying to salvage the upholstery. The seat is stained brown, the floor mat is ruined, and there's shit smeared on the back of the driver's seat where it splashed. Oh my God, dude. We eventually get somewhat clean. throw some too small shorts on me from my sister's bag, and pile in the back of the car. The rest of the drive is silent except for the windows being down the whole way, even though it's kind of cold out. We get to grandma's 2 hours late, and my parents have to explain why the car smells like a sewer and I'm wearing girl shorts. Grandma just hugs me and says, "Oh, honey, it happens." But I'm mortified. The cleanup took forever. Dad spent hours at a car wash, vacuuming and shampooing the back of the seat. They had to throw away the floor mat and the towel. For years after that, if you sat in the back of the seat on a hot day, you could still kind of smell it. My sister never let me live it down. She'd bring it up at every family gathering. Remember when Carter shat all over the car? Even now, if we're on a road trip, someone makes a joke about pulling over early. Looking back, I learned a couple things. Never hold it in that long, and if a doctor says take laxatives, maybe don't do it right before a long car ride. Also, chocolate laxatives are the devil. Dude, that sucks, man. That poor dude. Oh, that poor guy. Fuck. Right there on the side of the highway. It's one thing if you're like me and you're alone and you're not with anybody. And just fucking strangers are seeing you. You'll never see him again. Fuck it. All right, guys, I need to take a leak. So enjoy a couple of minutes of Tourette's Guy. I don't know if you remember Tourette's Guy. Let me see if I pull up. Okay, I'll be right back.
Yes, I bought your Colgate toothpaste, the one with tartar control, and it made me feel like a piece of shit. This is bullshit. I hope this is the Puff Daddy version of the song, not that Sting piece of shit. Fuck! Damn it! Holy shit! Balls! Yes! I bought your Colgate toothpaste, the one with tartar control, and it made me feel like a piece of shit! I pissed! Fucking hung up my ass! I want 2 cheeseburgers. I want pickles and ketchup on them. And don't load it up a bunch of bullshit! I want a biggie fries and give me some shit to drink! What the fuck? Damn it! Holy shit! Piss! You ass! Oh shit! Fuck you! You piece of shit! You have balls! Ass! Let me tell you how the porcupines balls! They're small, they don't get a shit!
All right, sorry about that. Yeah, dude, Tourette's Guy. Fucking love those videos. All right. All right, guys, what do we got next? I got some more voicemails. Here we go. All right. It was the summer of 2019. I was 13, living in a quiet suburb outside of LA. Our house was a typical stucco ranch style with palm trees lining the street and a wide front doorstep that caught the afternoon sun. School was out, and my days blurred into Fortnite marathons, bike rides with my friend from down the block, and hanging out with my younger brother who was always tagging along whether I wanted him to or not. Life felt endless and boring in that perfect teenage way until the Phantom Pooper showed up and turned our porch into ground zero. What? For the grossest mystery ever. Oh, the name of this, the subject line on this email is Childhood Home Got Shit On. It started on a sticky July night. My dad had just grilled burgers and we were cleaning up when my mom stepped out to grab the mail. She yelled and slammed the door. "There's poop on the doorstep!" She shouted, her face pale. We all rushed out. Me, my dad, my brother, and there it was, a fresh, unmistakable human turd right in the center of the mat, like someone had aimed it perfectly. The smell hit us immediately, thick and nauseating under the warm evening air. My brother gagged and ran inside. My dad muttered curses while grabbing the hose, blasting it away as best he could. "Probably some drunk idiot," he said, but my mom was freaked out. "What if it's targeted like a prank gone wrong?" I laughed it off at first, texting my friend about it. He thought it was hilarious, like maybe a dog or some kid daring another, but deep down it creeped me out. Who squats on someone's doorstep like that? How do you do that and not get caught? Right? Oh. Stuff, if you want to send me a voicemail, you don't have to type it out. It's up to you. The next night, it happened again. Same time around dusk. I was the one who discovered it this time, heading out to meet my friend for a late night bike ride. The pile was there, steaming slightly in the cooling air, bigger, almost defiant. My dad hosed it down again, grumbling louder. My mom called the neighbors, asking if anyone had seen anything suspicious. You need one of those neighborhood watch signs. No one had. We started locking the side gate tighter. And my dad talked about getting a camera, but money was tight that summer. Night 3, another one. This time our brother spotted it first thing in the morning before school. He screamed like he'd seen a ghost. The poop was smeared a little, as if the person had wiped their shoe or something. My parents were livid now. My dad stayed up late that night, sitting on the porch with a flashlight, but nothing. The pooper struck while he dozed off inside for a minute. 4 nights in a row, each one a fresh deposit. No variation, no clues left behind, no footprints, no wrappers, nothing, just poop. Perfectly placed. By the 4th night, our house felt like a crime scene. My mom wouldn't let us go out front alone. Well, what's going to happen? And sure enough, the next morning, pile number 4, fresh as ever. My dad exploded, calling the cops this time. An officer came out, took notes, looked around. We've had reports of vandalism, but this is unusual. Probably a prankster. Install a camera if you can. We never did catch who it was. My friend and I biked around the neighborhood for days, interrogating kids at the park, checking alleys, nothing. Rumors spread. Some lady down the street said she found dog poop in her yard, but not human. My brother had nightmares about the poop monster. My parents argued about moving, but we couldn't. We got to sell the house and get out of here. After that fourth night, though, it stopped. It just stopped. No more deposits. The phantom pooper vanished as mysteriously as they had appeared. We cleaned up the doorstep obsessively for weeks, scrubbing with bleach until the concrete shone. My dad finally got a cheap security light that was motion activated, flooding the porch in a white glare. Life crept back to normal. Gaming sessions, pool days, arguing with my brother over the TV remote. But that summer left a mark. Every time I stepped out front, I'd scan the mat first, half expecting another surprise. My friend still brings it up when we hang out, cracking jokes about the California crapper. Even now, years later in 2026, I wonder, was it revenge? A mental thing? Some bored psycho testing limits? Fuck, dude, that's pretty wild, man. Phantom pooper. A couple years ago, I went to the bathroom. I walked on a group of like 10 people standing in a circle, and I walk in there trying to piss, and the group was talking about what? Fighting people. And I'm overhearing this, and I'm afraid to piss. One of them say, my dude is just staring at the wall, which didn't help, and I thought it was going to be jump, so I ran the hell out. Robert, I wasn't there that night. I have an alibi. Solid one. As solid as that poop that I left. That I allegedly left. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. All right.
So this story is about my dad, not me. So one year he was on a flight with him and his father, and his dad was really drunk on the plane, so he was trying to take care of him and stuff. And a little bit later on, my dad's dad, so my grandpa, starts hitting on the flight attendant. And he's like a married man, so it was like a whole scene. And the flight attendant was not having it. And they just continue going through that flight. My grandpa's like going crazy. And then there's a storm. And the fucking plane gets hit by lightning. And everyone starts freaking out. The flight attendant falls on my grandpa. And my grandpa throws up on her. And my dad is like losing his shit. He's fucking laughing. And every year at Thanksgiving, my dad tells this story, and it's fucking hilarious.
Dude, that's fucking wild. That's fucking great. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna make it a YouTube short. That's a good one, dude. Dude, thank you. That's fucking funny. I'm friends with a flight attendant. Here's an adulting tip. When you're traveling and you stay at hotels that are like right up against airports, never use the coffee makers. Well, a lot of them now are these Keurigs, so you're good. But she told me that flight attendants, when they're just working nonstop, they have no time to like go to a laundromat, they wash their panties in the coffee machines. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Moving on. Guys, we're killing it tonight. Me and my friends' poop stories. Hey, Jay, found your channel last week from a TikTok and showed my friends. We all thought your videos and shit story live streams were the funniest shit every... oh, nice. And me and my friends decided to send our poop stories to you. Sweet. So if you read this email, I'd love for you to read those emails also. I'm not sure how this works. If you read all the emails or just pick and choose, but my friends will be sending in some also tonight and TMR. Okay. So this happened in the 3rd grade right before leaving for school. I had a frozen meal. No clue what it was, but it tasted really strange, but figured it was fine. Anyway, I went to class, and my 3rd class of the day started around 11. So I'm in class, and I feel like I got a shit. So I asked the teacher if I could go to the bathroom, and this bitch talking about some, I don't know, can you? Why do teachers assholes like that? At this point, I'm pissed off, and I still need to take a shit. So I say to her, may I use the restroom? And she said, no, you can wait until class is done. Dude, fucking, I would have yanked my pants down and shit on her desk. Fucking bitch. So at this point, I'm super pissed and still need to take a shit. So, well, about 10 minutes left in class. I couldn't hold it in anymore and trusted a fart, and a fart turned into a shit, and I'd shit a large amount of shit in my pants, and my stomach was still messed up, and I felt as if I had more left in the tank. At this point, I asked my teacher again if I could use the restroom. She still says no. So I end up sitting in my own shit for the rest of the class, and a couple of times during the, oh my God. And a couple of times during the end of the class, more shit came out. As soon as class ended, I rushed to the bathroom to clean up and poop more. Well, my underwear was fucked to the point of no return, while I sat on the toilet blasting out more poop. I threw away the underwear and went commando for the rest of the day. Later that evening, I shit multiple times back to back at home, along with throwing up something that was seriously fucked up in that frozen meal that I had. Dude. I've fucking done that plenty of times. Always wear black underwear. Ugh. Here's another one. Just found your channel a few days ago from a video someone uploaded from your channel. Your shit stories are funny as hell, and I got one of my own to share. All right, man, let me take you back to the summer of 2017. Me and the boys, Jake, Tyler, and Chris, were on this dumbass road trip from Ohio down to Florida for spring break. We were just trying to get to the beach and get fucked up. We pile into Jake's beat up Civic, cooler full of cheap beer in the trunk, blasting some old school Travis Scott and Future the whole way. We've been driving like 8 hours straight from some podunk town in Georgia. My guts were absolutely destroying me. I'd smashed like 3 gas station burritos the night before because I was too cheap to hit a real spot. And now they're coming back for revenge. I'm in the back seat, sweating bullets, clenching like a motherfucker, praying we hit a stop soon. Finally, Jake pulls off into this sketchy-ass Exxon and somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Alabama. Place looked like it hadn't been cleaned since the 90s. Faded signs, pumps that barely worked, and some old dude in overalls staring at us like we were aliens. I bolt out of the car before it fully stops, yelling, "I got a shit bad, hold up!" I sprint inside, past the clerk who's half asleep behind the counter, and spot the bathroom sign in the back. Door says men, but it's one of those single stall deals with a urinal and a toilet. I shove that door open so hard it bangs against the wall, and holy fucking shit. First thing I see, dead ass, no exaggeration, there's a massive, like, foot-long turd just chilling in the urinal. We got a urinal shitter. We got a urinal shitter, guys. Oh, man. Not like a nugget. No, this thing was a full-grown python coiled up a bit from when it hit the porcelain. Isn't it weird how turds, like, kind of curve around? Like a slinky. Dark brown, knobby as hell, sitting right there like someone took the world's most confident stand-up piss shit hybrid. I'm standing there frozen, mid-clench, just staring at this absolute monster. Then I look around more and realize the whole bathroom is a damn war zone. Shit smears everywhere on the walls, streaked across the sink like finger painting from hell. Even some on the toilet paper dispenser. Looked like someone had a full-blown explosion and decided to redecorate instead of clean up. The toilet itself, don't even get me started. Bowl was clogged with paper and more shit, water almost overflowing. And the seat had dried smears like someone sat down and slid around for fun. Oh, fuck, I'm going to puke. The smell hits me a second later. That hot, rotten summer gas station bathroom mix of shit, piss, and bleach that someone half-ass sprayed to cover it up. I'm gagging already, but my stomach's doing flips, and there's no way I'm making it back to the car. I'm like, fuck, 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 under my breath, trying not to touch anything. Oh, God, you guys. Oh, shit, this is gross. This is fucking gross. I hover over the toilet like I'm doing squats at the gym, pants around my ankles, praying I don't splash into that nasty water. Meanwhile, I'm still staring at the urinal turd like it's going to move or something. Who the hell shits in a urinal? Like, you got to be committed to the bit. Dude, if I saw that turd like that, I would shit in a urinal. You got to look at that urinal and go, yeah, that's where my legacy ends. I finally unload. And let me tell you, it was a relief, but also traumatic because every plop echoed in that tiny room, and I swear the urinal turd was judging me. Oh my God, I'm wiping with the world's thinnest one-ply TP, trying to use my foot to flush because there's no way I'm touching that handle with my hand. The whole time I'm thinking, why bother flush, dude? Just fucking leave. You're probably improving the place by doing that. The whole time I'm thinking about how I'm going to tell the boys this story without dying of laughing or throwing up again. I finish up, wash my hands about 6 times with that pink soap that doesn't actually clean shit, and stumble back out to the car. The guys are all leaning against the hood, smoking and looking at me and like, what took so long? I'm like, dudes, you're not going to fucking believe this. And they didn't at first. I had to drag all 3 of them in to see for it themselves. Oh my God, dude. Jake almost puked on the spot. Tyler took a picture. I swear to God, that pic is still buried somewhere in some old group chat. And Chris just kept saying, what kind of animal does this? We bought a bunch of snacks just to feel bad for the clerk, but he didn't even seem to surprised when we mentioned it. They were probably the ones that fucking did that. That clerk probably shit in the fucking urinal. Oh. Probably sees that shit weekly. To this day, every time we take a road trip, somebody brings up the urinal turd of 17. The summer of 17. That bathroom still haunts my nightmares, man. Straight up one of the most cursed things I've ever seen in my life. That's fucking crazy, dude. That's fucking crazy. Hey, Jay, just found your account from a TikTok I saw. TikTok is hot, man. I guess I need to get on there. And I checked out your channel and I saw you take poop stories, so I figured to send this one over. I hope you enjoy. I'm about to tell you the single most harrowing story of my entire life. I'm talking wanting to change my name and move to a different continent, levels of embarrassment. It started with that little stupid rattle in my Honda. I knew I should have taken it to the shop weeks ago, but you know how I am. Anyway, I'm driving home from that late shift, like it's 11:30 at night, and I'm taking the shortcut, though, the shortcut through that real rough patch of inner city. Suddenly, my engine just sighs. It doesn't bang. It doesn't smoke. It just quits. I coasted into the only light I see, which happens to be right in front of this place called the Rusty Nail. Now, this wasn't a hip dive bar. This was there are bars on the windows, and the doors is solid steel kind of joint. But it's pouring rain. My phone is nearly dead. And here's the kicker. That Thai food that I had for lunch was starting to do a violent tango in my lower intestine. I locked my car, sprinted through the rain, and pushed open that heavy door. The smell inside was a mix of stale cigarettes, floor cleaner, and regret. Every single head turned. It was just me and four guys who looked like they hadn't been in sunlight since the 90s. I didn't even care. I didn't ask for a drink. I just gasped, "Bathroom?" And the bartender pointed a shaky finger toward a hallway that looked like it led to a dungeon. I ran. I didn't even look at the stall. But when I got in there, disaster. There was no latch on the door, no toilet paper, just a roll of brown paper towels sitting on the back of the toilet tank. And the toilet looked like it hadn't been flushed since Nixon. And I'm hovering because there's no way my skin is touching that seat, and the event begins. But girl, it wasn't just a normal bathroom break. It was a damn breaking. And right at that exact moment, the door to the restroom swings open. Some woman walks in and sees me mid-hover and just says, "Oops," and walks back out, leaving the door wide open for the whole bar to hear the echoes. I was so mortified and so sick that my body just gave up. I tried to stand up to close the door, but the situation wasn't finished yet. I ended up losing my balance. My foot slipped on the wet floor, and I'm not kidding you. I went down. Oh my God. I didn't just have an accident. I had a catastrophe. It was on my leggings. It was on my shoes. It was everywhere. I sat there on that cold, disgusting tile for a second, just wondering if this is how my life was going to end. I had to use those rough brown paper towels to try and salvage my dignity, which was like trying to clean up a flood with a single napkin. I ended up having to throw my underwear in the trash can, scrubbing my leggings with hand soap that smelled like industrial cherries, and walking back out into that bar looking like I just survived a shipwreck. I didn't even wait for the AAA guy to find me. I walked out in the rain, sat on the curb, and let the downpour wash away the shame until the tow truck arrived. The driver took one look at me, soaking wet, smelling like a chemical plant, and looking, bless you, and looking traumatized, and didn't even ask a single question. I'm never eating Thai food again, and I'm never driving that Honda again. In fact, I might just stay in this house forever. Oh my God, you guys. Dude, that's fucking crazy. Oh my God. That's, bless you. That's so terrible. Oh, that's so embarrassing. Bathroom echoes are too real. Dude, yeah, no kidding.
Hey, Uncle Jay, it's Slipknot Princess Reina again. What I'm about to share is kind of embarrassing, and no, it's not a poop story, but a fart story. So earlier today, me, my mom, and my nana were at the dinner table, and we were having dinner when I announced, uh-oh, because whenever I feel like I need to let one rip, I say, uh-oh. And then it just came out of me like this. Yeah, it was so loud that my mom and nana heard it. And if I remember correctly, my nana said, "Don't be embarrassed, sweetheart. It happens to the best of us." Yeah, so I farted at the dinner table. There you go then. How embarrassing. I'm gonna go cry in the corner.
Grandmas are the best. That's so fucking funny. Oh my god, do we have any more? Yeah, oh yeah. Dude, we got a lot. Fuck. We got more! Oh, hang on. Okay. Okay, I still can't believe I let my friend Steve talk me into hitting up that sketchy Chinese spot on 12th Street last Friday night. We were already half drunk from the bar, starving, and he goes, "Brody, let's fucking go eat at that Chinese place downtown." And he kept going on about how their General Tso's is life-changing, even though the last time he ate there, he swore his burps tasted like motor oil for 2 days. Whatever, I was hungry, so we rolled up. There's this place called the Golden Dragon, pissing half the letters, so it just flashes Gold Drag Pace in this. Oh, geez. Okay, we're still going. In this sickly green and pink glow that makes it look like the building is having a seizure. One of those windows is boarded up with cardboard that has a spray-painted smiley face on it. There's this busted plastic chair chained to the sidewalk like someone's worried it'll get stolen. It smells like old fryer grease, incense, and regret. Dude. Oh, the Costco incident was the result of a fucking Chinese buffet. Oh my god. The menu on the wall is handwritten in Sharpie and on butcher paper. Half the items crossed out. And there's a little plastic Buddha statue by the register wearing a tiny trucker hat. Someone Sharpie boss on it. The lady behind the counter didn't even look up from her phone the whole time we ordered. Just grunted when Steve asked for extra spicy and then yelled something in Mandarin toward the back that sounded like she was cursing his entire bloodline. We grabbed the greasy bags, drove back to my place, cracked open some beers, and started destroying the food on the couch while arguing about whether the new Fast and Furious movie was actually good or just muscle car ASMR. Steve was going hard on his orange chicken, sauce dripping down his chin, full caveman mode, just being stupid. He probably ate 3 people's worth in 10 minutes. About 20 minutes later, he started to look uncomfortable, shifting around, clenching his jaw, doing that thing you pretend you're just stretching, but really you're trying not to fart. I noticed, but don't say anything because I'm not trying to start that conversation. Then he stands up real quick and says, "Bathroom," and Steve speed walks down the hall like he's in a slow motion race. He doesn't make it. I heard him yell, "Fuck!" from the hallway, followed by this wet, cartoonish splat squelch noise that honestly sounded like someone dropped a full water balloon filled with chocolate milk, and then silence. Long, horrified silence. Then Steve's voice, small and defeated, "Dude, I need help." I'll walk over, and there he is, standing in the middle of my hallway in a widening, dark puddle, cargo shorts sagging like they've given up on life, his face the color of old mayonnaise. The smell hits me like a truck. It's not just poop. It's spicy, fermented, regret-flavored poop. Oh, God. Like someone microwaved a ghost pepper and then took a dump in a gym sock. My eyes start watering and I start gagging. He looks at me with these big glassy eyes and goes, "The orange chicken betrayed me, man. It betrayed me so hard." Then he tries to take a step and there's this awful squishing sound from his shoes. He freezes, looks down, looks back at me. "I think it's in my socks, bro." I lose it. I double over laughing so hard I can't breathe, tears streaming, while Steve just stands there like a sad, shitty statue. He finally waddles over to the bathroom, leaving little footprints, muttering, "This is the worst day of my life," over and over. I hear the shower turn on, and then him complaining because apparently he tried to take his shorts off too fast and smeared it up his back. What the fuck? More complaints, then a loud thud followed by "fuck." That sounded suspiciously like the shampoo bottle being thrown against the shower wall. 20 minutes later, he comes out wrapped in my spare bath towel like a burrito of shame. Hair dripping, looking like he just survived a war crime. He sits on the very edge of the couch, still on a trash bag I made him put down, and whispers, "I owe you new shorts and a new hallway, and possibly therapy." I just handed him another beer and said, "Bro, next time we're getting pizza, and you're never allowed to say extra spicy again." He nodded like a man who'd seen too much. Then he farted, loud, wet. We both screamed at the same time. Moral of the story, never trust neon signs that are missing letters. They know something you don't. And Steve is officially banned from anything with Palace in the name forever. Fuck, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Explain how long you pooped for at Costco. Robert, I didn't poop long. That whole Costco incident may have lasted like the pooping. That was a solid minute and a half of just rooster tailing in the parking lot while hearing a woman gasp in horror. Her car was all right. So like you pull into a parking spot, like let's say this is my car, my truck, and I pulled in right here. And then, you got the road right here. And then there's other parking spaces right here. There's a car right here with the trunk up. And there's an older lady. She was putting her groceries in the trunk. So I get out right here and I go around to the back of the car because I'm trying to get to Costco so I could go in and shit. But I made it around to the back of the car. Now, right here is where her car is, and the trunk's up, and she's right here. I'm right here. I don't make it. I just yanked my pants down and a rooster tail in her direction. So maybe she heard some splatting going on, definitely some backfiring going on, and I just heard a gasp. She probably clutched her chest, her pearls, and and I didn't even bother looking over at her, saying sorry. I just pulled up my pants and I got back in the car, and I just fucking drove off. And the thing that sucked about it is my wife's car. And it'd be one thing if I shit in my truck, but I was in my wife's car. I was thinking, I just ruined this car. As I'm getting in it and starting to drive off, the first thing that pops in my head is not like, how am I going to tell my wife that I just got shit all over her car? Because it's, we're humble people. We don't have leather seats. It's fabric. So it would just soak it up. So I'm not even thinking about explaining to her what happened. I'm thinking I need to go online and find a pick and pull that has a Honda and pull the seat out of the one that's in the junkyard and put it in this car. And I don't care what color it is. That's what seat covers are for. And but much to my surprise, I didn't get a single speck on her car. The floor mat, the WeatherTech floor mat that I splurged on, that got shit on. My shoes got shit on. And I called my wife. If you watch the Costco incident video, it's all right there in real time. And I called her and I told her what happened, and she was so sweet. She had the bathroom ready to go and everything for me. I open up the front door and she's standing there, just like 10 feet away, just looking at me, like, what can I do to help? God bless her. And I just stood there in the doorway and I said, please don't look at me right now. And she said, okay, honey. And I just kind of ducked wall to the bathroom, showered. We're still married, by the way. She's a saint. Truly is. What would you tell her if you saw that lady right now? Oh, I would apologize profusely, and tell her she happened to be at the right place at the wrong time. I went and got a gift card for the guy that cleaned it up. I showed up the next morning. I drove all the way down the fucking mountain with a bucket with water in it and some soap. And if you watch that video, I'm wearing black gloves. Oh, dude. Yes. You know, I almost decided to not document that, not record it, because it was just embarrassing. But it's like, you know, I tell these stories, but it's one thing to record it as it happened and document the whole thing. I just thought it'd be good content, and I think it is. I didn't know you also like pick and pull. Yeah, dude, pick and pull is not bad. You know, I just fucking it's just a little bit of a schlep for me. Bit of a trek. Hang on a sec. Cat wants out. Hey, buddy, you want to go outside? Watch out for bears. Getting cold out. I think it's funny that Georgia's getting more snow than Tahoe right now. All right. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is called The Birth of My First Child and the Poop Part. Okay. All right. Just found your YouTube account a couple days ago from TikTok. Dude, TikTok is popping. And it had a story worth sharing. The fluorescent lights in Beaumont Hospital's maternity ward bathroom flickered just enough to make the whole scene feel like a fever dream. It was still that same night around 2 a.m. Pardon me. My wife was down the hall, deep in labor with our first kid, and I ducked out for what I thought would be a quick shit in a bathroom trip. I was in stall number 2, minding my business, when the main door swung open hard enough to bang against the wall. Heavy, uneven footsteps shuffled in. No hesitation, this dude went straight into the stall next to mine, slammed the door, locked it with a loud clack. Pants dropped fast, then came the sounds. First, a long, low groan that didn't quite sound like an adult. Then a wet, explosive release that hit the toilet seat, the wall, and the floor all at once, like someone had uncapped a shaken 2-liter of something thick and awful. The smell rolled in under the divider immediately, hot and sour, the kind of stench that punches you in the throat. I looked down through the gap at the bottom of the stalls and saw his shoes, worn white Velcro sneakers, one untied lace dragging in the spreading mess. Oh, he didn't make it. His ankles were thick, pale, covered in dark hair. He was rocking back and forth, grunting with every push. This dude said something around the lines of, "Oh boy, big one coming." He said out loud, voice high and slurred, the way some folks with intellectual disabilities talk loud, unfiltered, zero awareness that anyone else was there. Then another blast. This one painted the back of the stall door. I heard it slap and slide down. Then a giggle that actually giggled like a little kid proud of the finger painting. "Uh-oh, all over," he announced happily to nobody. Messy. Oh my God. I sat frozen on the toilet, half finished, trying not to breathe through my nose. Droplets started to creep under the divider toward my stall. One actually touched the tip of my shoe. I jerked my feet up onto the seat like a scared teenager. He kept going, wave after wave, and it wasn't normal diarrhea. It was volume that didn't seem humanly possible. Every few seconds, he'd shift position, and I'd hear fresh splatter hitting a new surface. The floor tiles were slick with it now, and I could see brown tide advancing. "Stinky," he laughed. "Real stinky poo-poo." Oh, my God. I finally finished, wiped, and stood, and pulled my jeans up as quietly as I could. Oh, dude, this guy's going to chase after him with shit. I got a feeling. Oh, man. Place your bets. My hands were shaking. Part of me felt bad for the guy. He clearly couldn't help it. Probably had zero control, maybe no caregiver with him in sight. But the other part was pure survival instinct. Get me the hell out of here before I throw up or something worse lands on me. I unlocked my store door. I can't talk right now. I've been fucking talking 2 hours here. I unlocked my stall door and stepped out. The mirror showed me looking like I'd aged 5 years and 5 minutes. Pale, sweating, eyes wide. Behind me, the performance continued. Another wet explosion followed by whoopsie daisy on the wall again. I washed my hands in record time, using half the soap dispenser, and bolted for the exit. As my hand hit the door handle, he called out cheerfully, "Bye-bye, bathroom friend. Have a good night." Oh my God. I didn't answer. I just escaped into the hallway, sucked in lungfuls of bleach-scented hospital air, and speed walked back to my wife's room. When I got there, she was in mid-contraction, gripping the bed rails. The nurse looked up. "Everything okay? You were gone a while." "Yeah," I lied, wiping the sweat off my forehead. "Just crowded in there." 20 minutes later, my son was born. Seeing this retarded dude fucking up the stall right next to me is a part of my child's birth. Only my friends know about, and my wife will have no idea. Holy shit, dude. Well, hey, congratulations. Holy shit, that's fucking wild, dude. Oh, jeez, that's crazy. We're getting some fucking crazy ones.
What up, Uncle Jay? It's your girl, Raina, a.k.a. Slipknot Princess Raina. Let me blow the horn. Have I got a poop story for you? So last night, me and my family had tacos for dinner. And when it comes to tacos, taco night at my house, I inhale as many tacos as I could. And last night, I had 5 tacos in one sitting, like, inhale them to the max. All that stuff. And then a few hours later, I had to take a shit. And I gave birth to like a dozen chocolate eggs in the toilet.
Oh,
Jesus fucking Christ.
shit.
So, yeah, if you eat a lot of tacos at my house at night, you're damn straight gonna shit yourself later. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Holy shit. That's fucking funny. Okay, hang on. What's going on? Okay, here we go. Back in the 8th grade, there was a kid named Tyler who was legitimately the shortest dude in the entire school. I'm not exaggerating. This kid was pushing 4'10" on his tallest day, probably closer to 4'8" if we're being real. Teachers would accidentally pat him on the head thinking he was a 6th grader who had wandered into the wrong hallway. He never got mad about it, though, just kind of accepted his fate and rolled with it. Always wore these massive baggy cargo shorts no matter the weather, like he was trying to add extra volume to make up for his lack of height. Khaki ones, mostly, pockets deep enough to smuggle a whole lunch if he wanted. Anyway, this one Tuesday hits, and it's just a standard gross school lunch day. Cafeteria smells like overcooked tater tots mixed with that weird bleach they use to mop up mystery spills. Fluorescent lights humming, table sticky from who knows what. Kids screaming over each other like it's a zoo. Me and my crew, Jake, Marcus, Devin, we're locked in on our prime corner table. Perfect vantage point, points to the wall, full view of the chaos without looking suspicious. We're in peak middle school idiot mode, flicking fries across the table, trying to land them in each other's milk cartons, ranking every girl who walks by on some dumb scale we made up. Just absolutely feral. Tyler's posted up a couple tables over with his band squad. Oh shit, I think the cat was here. Nah. The cat knows how to knock at the door. I don't hear him. I hear him. Oh, Long Johnson. He's looking for bears. Okay. Quiet kids mostly. The ones who play clarinet usually don't cause any trouble. He's smashing one of those sad rectangle school pizzas, the kind that's basically cardboard with a smear of sauce and fake cheese, washing it down with chocolate milk straight from the carton like it's a protein shake. At first, everything seems chill. He's just eating, nodding along to whatever his friends are talking about. Normal stuff. Then I notice the shift. The little man starts moving weird in his seat. Not regular fidgeting, but this kind of squirm where you know something bad's brewing downstairs. Legs pressed tight together, tiny little butt scoots forward and back on the bench like he's trying to find a position that buys him more time. His face starts getting that pink flush, the one that spreads from cheeks to ears real quick. Here he goes. Hands grip the edge of the table harder than necessary. I nudge Jake under the table and nod towards him. Jake looks smirks, nudges Marcus. Marcus looks immediately, has to cover his mouth to keep soda from coming out of his nose. Devin catches on last, but once he does, his eyes go wide and slides down in his seat a little, trying to hide the laughing. We're all locked in now, food forgotten, just watching this slow motion disaster unfold. Tyler keeps trying to play it cool, taking tiny sips of milk, picking at his pizza crust, like eating slower will somehow fix the situation. But the squirming gets worse. His knees start bouncing under the table, that rapid fire tap, tap, tap that screams emergency. Every few seconds, he freezes completely, whole body clenched, then relaxes just enough to breathe before it starts again. Marcus starts doing that ridiculous quiet narration under his breath like he's doing a nature documentary, describing the desperate struggle of the wild turtle head trying to retreat back into its den. I'm biting my sleeve at this point, trying not to let loose out loud. Finally, Tyler decides that he has to make a move. He stands up super slow and careful, like any sudden motion could end it all. Tray in hand, he starts the journey towards the trash cans to dump his leftovers, but oh man, the walk. It's the most obvious poop shuffle you've ever seen. Wide stance, knees kind of locked, tiny steps, butt cheeks clenched so hard you could practically see the effort. Those baggy cargo shorts swaying side to side with every careful waddle. He's maybe 6 or 7 steps from his table, right in the main walkway where kids are constantly flowing past with trays when it happens. Oh my God. How come you don't get a dog? Oh, we're getting one. We're getting a retired police canine dog. It's in the works. He just stops, dead still in the middle of everything. Kids bumping all around him, trays clattering, voices echoing off the walls. Tyler freezes like a statue, eyes huge, mouth open in a tiny bit of pure horror. You can literally feel the moment the dam breaks. His shoulders hunch up, his whole body tenses, and there's this muffled wet sound that somehow cuts through all the cafeteria noise. Not a huge explosion or anything dramatic, just that unmistakable that tells you everything you need to know. A little squeak escapes him right after, this tiny defeated noise that somehow makes it even funnier. Then the smell hits. Sweet mercy, that smell. It rolls out like a poisonous cloud, thick and nasty, like someone microwaved boiled eggs, broccoli, and old gym clothes together. Brutal doesn't even cover it. Takes maybe 10 seconds to spread, but once it does, heads start turning, nose wrinkles. People at the closest table start gagging and looking around trying to figure out what died. Someone yells out asking who let one rip that bad. The whole section erupts. Kids laughing, coughing, waving hands in front of faces, pushing trays away like the food suddenly got worse. Tyler just stands there holding his tray for an eternity, pizza crust dangling off the edge like it's giving up too. Face goes from pink to full fire engine red. Sweat probably popping out on his forehead, then reality kicks in and he tries to escape. It's not a run, more like a panicked waddle sprint, shorts sagging in the back now in a way that's painfully obvious that extra weight is in there. He ditches the tray on some random table without stopping, knocking over someone's milk over in the process, and Penguin shuffles as fast as his little legs could carry him towards the nearest cafeteria door. The laughter follows him like a wave, kids pointing, reenacting the freeze moment already, doing exaggerated waddle walks behind him. The smell trail lingers in his wake, making everyone he passes react even harder. He disappears through the doors, and we all figure that's the end of the show. Back at our tables, we're absolutely destroyed. Jake has his head down, banging the table so hard his tray jumps. Marcus is wheezing silently, face purple, tears streaming. Devin straight up slides off the bench onto the floor, holding his stomach. I'm crying real tears, shoulders shaking, trying to breathe, but every time I think it's over, I remember the little squeak and lose it again. Even when the smell finally drifts over to us, it doesn't help. It just makes us laugh even harder because now it's real. Lunch period still has like 15 minutes left, but the vibe is forever changed. Monitors start walking around sniffing and asking what the hell the smell is. One of them finds a small smear on the floor where Tyler had his moment of defeat and immediately radios for a janitor with a big mop bucket. Kids keep retelling it louder and louder, adding fake details like sound effects and explosion noises. Oh, poor Tyler. By the time the bell rings, literally everyone in 8th grade knows this short little Tyler crapped his cargo shorts in the middle of the cafeteria. Fuck, that sucks. Hallways the rest of the day are wild. Kids doing the waddle walk every time they pass each other. 7th graders who missed it are already spreading rumors that it was way worse, like full blowout down the legs or something. Teachers pretending they have no idea why everyone is giggling in class. Jake keeps randomly making that tiny squeak noise in the middle of math and setting us all off again. Marcus swears the smell is permanently burned in his nostrils. The wildest part, though, is Tyler actually came back after going home to change. Shows up for last period in fresh shorts. Hair is still a little damp like he showered, trying to act completely normal. Sits down, pulls out his notebook, pretends nothing happened. A couple of kids snicker, but most people just let it go because deep down, we've all had close calls and feel a tiny bit bad. Not us, though. We're still buzzing about it in the group chat that night, sending poop emojis and cargo short memes. For the rest of the year, it became our thing. Every time we saw Tyler in the hall, one of us would do the waddle walk a few steps behind him just to mess around. Oh, man. He turned as red as a stop sign, but never got mad. Probably knew resistance was pointless. Even teachers caught on eventually and would give us the side eye. Tyler moved away sophomore year, but the story never did. Every time the crew gets together, someone brings up cafeteria day and we lose it all over again. Short king, massive cargo shorts, absolute nuclear disaster in front of half the school. Hands down, the greatest middle school moment any of us ever witnessed. That's fucking pretty crazy. Remember when you farted on Tango? Yeah. That's fucking funny. We got some more here. Got some more. If my email loads up. Guys, I gotta take another fucking piss. All right. I'll be right back. Here's some more Tourette's guy.
The other day they had a 12-hour marathon of Scooby-Doo and Friends on the Cartoon Network. I watched all 12 hours. When I was finished, I said, shit! Uh-huh. Are you shitting me? Fuck! Asshole! Sorry. You can't do shit like your balls! Piss!
And here are tonight's winning pick three numbers. 8.
Fuck!
5.
Damn it!
5.
Holy shit!
8, 5, 5. Here's tonight's lucky pick three winner. Now the winning pick four numbers. 8.
F!
0.
F!
3.
F!
7.
F!
Tonight's pick four numbers. 8, 0, 3, 7. Now here are tonight's winning but by 5 numbers. 20.
Piss!
5.
Holy shit!
36.
Damn it!
17.
Fuck the lottery! Shit! I don't want to switch phone companies. You can stick us 5 cent Sundays up your fucking ass!
Absolutely under no obligation. Just take this form, fill it out at your leisure, and mail it in. At 4 to 6 weeks.
Why don't you make like a banana and shit?
Yeah, he's cussing.
Shit! F! Damn it! Piss
and shit on Twitter are two different things! Whoa, shit! That was... I'm gonna shoot your faggot ass! Dom DeLuise. He used to be a chef on TV, but now he just sits at home with his ass up his ass!
Fuck the lottery. Here we go. I work in a movie theater and regularly a group of mentally disabled adults come in. They all have caregivers and usually give us no trouble. This night, however, was an exception. It was just one of them with their caregiver. Odd, they usually come with the whole group. We should have known this was foreshadowing the disaster to come. After about 10 minutes, the caregiver left the guy all alone. That's pretty wild. Something they're absolutely not allowed to do. He starts to freak out and go nuts in the lobby before heading upstairs to the bathroom. What preceded sounded like a WWE cage match, screaming and grunting loudly over and over. After a while, the manager sent us up to go see what happened, and that when we saw that the crime scene, shit covering the floor, the walls, the stall doors. Oh my God, the guy also stripped himself nude and was covered in shit. He was freaking out. And we had to have two people, including one new guy, hold him back and stop people from going in while police arrived. Can you imagine? Fuck, if I just started a job at the movie theater and they're like, Jay, get in there and restrain that naked retard guy covered in shit, I'll be like, I quit. See ya. Take care. Comb your hair. Oh my God. While the police arrived, he was taken away and the caregiver was arrested, as we found out later. It took a massive crew to clean up that disaster. Oh my God, dude. That's fucking crazy. How many are left? We got 3. We got 3. We're in the final stretch here. We're fucking almost 2.5 hours in. Let me grab a soda. Just my throat's getting a little dry. It's getting tough, man. It's a lot of fucking poop stories. I'm not used to talking for so long. Oh, that's good. Hi, Jay. I just found your channel through TikTok. It's like the 4th one. And after checking out a few of your videos and live streams, I decided to send in a story. This will most likely be one of the most insane stories you've ever read. Or maybe not, as I have not watched your poop story live streams. Hopefully you'll pick my story to read. Anyways, here it is. This story took place at the White House This story took place at the White House when I was 16. I wasn't exactly a political junkie, but I knew I was standing in a place where history was being carved into stone. However, I stood there in the shadow of the great White House. My mind wasn't on the peaceful transfer of power or the groundbreaking nature of the first female vice president. My mind and every fiber of my being was hyper-focused on a spicy tuna sandwich I'd just eaten at a sketchy rest stop on the way into D.C. earlier that morning. Oh my God. My mother, a veteran political reporter for a major metro daily, had insisted I come along. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, she said, adjusting her press badge as we cleared the 3rd security checkpoint. Because of COVID and the security lockdown after the January 6th riots, the National Mall was empty of the usual millions. Instead, it was filled with the field of flags, nearly 200,000 of them, which looked beautiful from a distance, but up close, it felt like a silent, shimmering graveyard of witnesses to my impending doom. The guest list was tiny, mostly members of Congress and their families, which meant there was absolutely nowhere to hide. Oh my God. The first gurgle happened right as Lady Gaga stepped up to the microphone to sing the national anthem. It wasn't a standard stomach growl, it was a deep seismic shift, a tectonic warning from my lower intestine that the spicy tuna had declared war. I shifted my weight from my left foot to my right, clenching so hard my calves began to cramp. I was wearing a suit that was slightly too small for me, and the waistband of the slacks digging into my abdomen like a dull saw. Every time I breathed in to try to stay calm, the pressure increased. As Jennifer Lopez took the stage to perform a medley, the internal situation moved from code yellow to code red. The cold DC air, which should have been refreshing, was making my body shudder, and every shiver was a gamble I couldn't afford to lose. I looked around desperately. The seating was socially distanced, which was a blessing for air circulation, but a curse for invisibility. To my left was a high-ranking senator's aide. To my right, a National Guard officer who looked like he could smell fear. I was trapped in a perimeter of razor wire and decorum. The climax of my agony coincided perfectly with the swearing in of Kamala Harris. As she raised her hand to take the oath, a sudden sharp cramp doubled me over slightly. I tried to make it look like I was bowing my head in a moment of deep patriotic reflection. My forehead was slick with sweat despite the 36-degree temperature. I kept telling myself, just get to the speech, get to the speech. Once Biden starts talking, my mom will be busy typing and I can sneak away. But there was no sneaking away. Security was so tight that moving from your assigned seat was practically an invitation for a Secret Service interrogation. I was pinned. Oh my God, dude, this is crazy. Then it happened. Bo Jiden stepped up to the podium. The crowd went silent, the kind of silence that makes a pin drop sound like a thunderclap. He began his inaugural address, speaking about unity and ending this uncivil war. Early in his speech, I felt something. It wasn't a pop or a burst. It was a slow, warm, inevitable betrayal. I felt the heat first, a human sensation that spread with horrifying speed against the cold fabric of my underwear. It felt like a warm, thick mudslide was occurring in slow motion inside my trousers. The smell, a mix of old fish and biological regret, hit me almost immediately. I froze. I became a statue. I was convinced that if I didn't move a single muscle, I could somehow contain the disaster within the confines of my wool blend slacks. But the spicy tuna had other plans. The triumph of a cause continued, and so did my internal collapse. I could feel the moisture soaking into the seat of the chair, a folding chair that I now realized was made of mesh. Holy shit. All right. There we go. I was literally leaking into the historical record. My mother, ever the professional, didn't look up from her laptop, but I saw her nose wrinkle. She sniffed the air suddenly. Her fingers never stopped their rhythmic tapping of the keys. She glanced at me, then back at the stage, then back at me. Her eyes widened. She didn't say anything. She couldn't. We were 10 rows back from the President of the United States, but the look of pure, unadulterated horror on her face told me everything I needed to know. I sat there for the next 30 minutes of the speech, feeling the wind chill turn the warmth between my legs into a clammy, freezing sludge. Every time the audience applauded, I clapped with them, trying to blend in, though I'm sure my face was the color of a ripened beet. I had to sit through the poem by Amanda Gorman, which was beautiful, though I mostly remember her yellow coat and the way my pants were now sticking to my skin. I had to sit through the benediction. I had to sit through the entire military pass and review. When we finally stood up, I kept my long wool overcoat buttoned tight, pulled down as far as it would go. I walked like a penguin with a hip injury, shuffling toward the security perimeter. Every step felt like I was squishing through a marsh. The walk to the car, which felt like 3 miles, was probably only 6 blocks, was the longest journey of my life. When we finally reached her SUV, I climbed into the back seat on a trash bag she had scavenged from her gear. The silence was deafening. She started the engine, cranked the heat, and drove in silence for 10 minutes before finally speaking. That is fucking incredible. Do you still get flashbacks from the Target about? Yeah. there's things that are burned into my mind, memories, things like the first time at jousting is against Quint. It just I remember seeing him come at me, the lance coming at me, my lance going towards him through the visor. I'll always remember that. Last time I saw my dad before he passed away. First time I saw my wife. Just stuff like that, and a gigantic turd I saw in a Target bathroom in September 2007. Yeah. Oh. Okay. I've been waiting for this. Was the last year during the pandemic. I worked as a preloader in a UPS warehouse. I worked there for a year, and for whatever reason, my body trained itself to need to take a shit every day at 6 a.m. on the dot. Literally, I'd feel it coming at 5:45, and by 6 a.m., I was running to the bathroom. I couldn't remember exactly why, but for whatever reason, this shit in particular was beating its way out from where I was stationed to work to where the cleanest bathroom was like literally a 3-minute walk, and I was struggling to make my way there. So eventually, basically in tears, I made it to the bathroom, and I'm faced with the staircase I needed to climb to enter the bathroom. I'm halfway up the stairs, and I tripped, and I stumbled down the fucking stairs as I was shitting myself. Not only did somebody shit themselves while going down the stairs, it was at work. This is crazy. And there's no type of recovery from this vicious shit because it was 6 a.m. and my shift ended at 9. So there's no way I could even hide out and avoid people. So what ended up happening was I tried to wipe up as best as I could. I had to throw away my underwear and thug out the rest of that shift bare booty in my sweatpants, hoping I didn't smell like shit to anyone else. If it makes anything better, I tried to lie about any lingering shit smell on me by telling my coworkers that I stepped in dog shit when I was walking to the 7-Eleven. Oh my God. This happened about 2 months ago. I was in between classes at my college. It was early in the morning that on a Monday, the night after getting blackout drunk with some friends. I felt like complete shit and figured I'd get something to eat. We went to this dump of a McDonald's and got their McChicken, which tasted like paper towels and had almost no flavor. Having been a broke college student, I thugged it out and ate it anyway. I went to my second class around noonish and was mid through the class, and I felt a strong urge to shit. However, the class was almost over, so I figured I'd just wait for it to get done and use the bathroom then. Big mistake. With about 5 minutes left in the class, I felt the need to fart. However, more slipped out than just a fart. Straight shit, not liquid shit, formed shit. I let out a turd in my pants. At this point, I was just like, fuck it, and left the class to use the restroom. The bathroom at my college was that was closest to my class was this 2-stall shit shack, 2 toilets, 1 sink. This happened in October, and this was the first time I'd used this bathroom before. Had I know how it was, I would have gone to another one. The stall next to me, had someone in it, and the only stall left over had a huge fucking turd in it. Left with not many other options, I went in and locked the door and attempted to clean my boxers. What was left of them, at least. Let me also add that the stall dividers had this nearly 2-foot gap from the bottom of the floor to where it began, so I could see about almost up to the kneecaps of the dude in the stall over. After I cleaned my boxers, I sat down to take a shit. About 5 minutes in, the dude in the stall over started to wipe his ass, and mid-wipe session dropped his phone. Well, guess what this dude bent over? Well, guess what? This dude bent over to pick it up. And while picking it up, his head was a few inches from the floor. And what does this bastard? And when he does down, this bastard looked over into my fucking stall, looks me dead in the eyes for nearly 5 seconds before picking up his phone and pulling his pants up. He looked like he was in his mid-50s. I had no clue who the fuck he was. Oh my God. And this was the first and thankfully last time I saw him. I don't know if he had some mental problem that caused him to act like this, but something was very, very wrong with the dude. I have no clue from all the beer from the night before or the stale McChicken caused this, but one way or another, this was my worst college experience. It's been about 2 or 3 months now, and I've yet to go back to that bathroom, and I never plan to. Oh, God. Oh. Good thing I checked my spam folder. All right, guys, last one of the night. Hey, Jay, I sent some stories a few years ago, and I'm back for more. Let's fucking go. First one takes place when I got my first apartment. I had lived there for maybe a month or two. I just finished taking a shit, the composition of which was not unusual for me, but it was enough volume to clog the toilet. Also not particularly unusual for me. But after I unsuccessfully flushed the first time, I realized the toilet sounded off. Kind of like how it sounds when the little flapper inside comes unclipped from the hinge so the water doesn't flow like it should. But when I took off the lid, the flap was intact. Now I'm kind of puzzled. I checked the valve on the water. I checked that the valve of the water line was open. It was, of course, because no one else had been in the apartment to tamper with it. So at this point, I'm really confused as to why suddenly no water pressure came through the toilet. Immediately following my shitting in it, I began to wonder if this was more of a widespread issue. So I checked the bathroom sink, and there's no water there either. I tried the shower and the kitchen sink and got the same results, no water. So at this point, I'm wondering if I forgot to pay the rent and my water got shut off or what. Usually I would get an email or phone call if there was any kind of outage with water or electric or otherwise with the apartment, but this time there was nothing. I needed to know if this was just my apartment or the whole building. The only other water source outside my apartment I had access to was a little area on the first floor of the building where you can wash your dog and stuff. I went down there and tested that. No water. So as far as it seems to me, my gigantic shit caused the entire apartment building to lose water. Could be something else going on here. Second story is more recent. I was at a big festival with my family and friends. The property this was taking place on was very large, so they were towing some trolley tram looking trailers with tractors hauling folks around. Now some backstory. For the past week, I had way more shit-inducing food than normal. Mexican food from different restaurants on 3 different occasions. I had some new hot sauce I'd been tearing into the night before, some ghost pepper kettle corn I was munching on that morning. So me and the gang were waiting in line for the tram after having walked quite a ways as well. I was feeling the effects of this for the last 5 or 7 days of food. Mind you, I have only shat, I think, once during this time. The line was long enough that the tram was going to make a couple passes before getting to us, and it was becoming apparent that I wasn't going to make it. Now, I feel I'm pretty skilled at not shitting myself, but this was not going in my favor, and I knew I would not survive if I was unable to find a porta potty. I knew where the nearest ones were, but walking would have been the end for my anus. This is clearly diarrhea, by the way, and my guts were on fire, my guts were on fire was unmistakable. The tram was filling up and had 1 seat left. I split with the rest of my group and took the seat. Ass clenched in a vice grip. I held on while we rode the probably half mile up to the stop near the porta potties. When we got close, I didn't even wait for the tram to stop because I knew I could sprint to the John, now at the distance that I was at. So I jumped off the tram and got moving to the plastic cottages. Most were in use, but some guy was leaving as I was arriving, so I went in right after him. Now, be aware this is late in July, and it was surely over 90 degrees outside. So in the John, it must have been over 100. I'm letting out a Niagara fall of shit in there. And it's coming in waves. My ass is on fire. I'm drenched in sweat. I had been in there long enough for the tram to go all the way back and get the rest of my folks and bring them over. My mom starts calling me from outside to ask if I had heat stroke or if I'm even alive. After a half hour, I clean up as best as I can and hobble out. I had to sit down and get a drink and take a break after that one. Very eye-opening experience for me. This last one is a fast one, but it's still wild to me. I was in college taking my calculus final. I had to pee, so I went to the bathroom, and I could not believe that the universe had chosen my eyes to bestow what I saw in there. In the first urinal, I see a slurry of shit. Oh my God. Closer to the solid than liquid, but I could see retroactively how it could have been a dire situation for the depositor. Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, as the toilet stall was right there, but I was imagining how this could have possibly happened. Anyway, I went back to the room, and I was sitting next to my friend trying to figure out how to indicate to him what I'd just seen. I'll never forget how I felt walking in there and seeing that. Crazy. That is crazy. Oh, fuck. Oh, Lambo guy, here it is. Greetings once again, Uncle Jay. You're about to read. What you're about to read is a poo story from my door dashing days. But for this latest entry, I decided to give it a twist and try my hand at writing in the style of film noir. There are elements of fiction sprinkled in, but I can assure you that the events of this story are 100% true. So before you read this, I suggest you put on some slow, jazzy film noir music to set the mood. I'll give you a minute to get ready. Okay, let me see if I can find something. Oh. We're almost 3 hours into this. Okay, hang on. I don't know if we'll try it. Maybe I'll have to turn it down. Is that good? Or is that's not loud enough? There we go. The familiar 3 double tone jingle hit a frequency usually only heard by dogs, but it meant I had an order, and the sound of greenbacks slapping across my palm is music to my ears any day. After all, I'm not an opera critic. I'm a food deliverer. I keep 2 magnums in my car. One's a gun, and I keep it loaded. The other's a bottle that keeps me loaded. Name's Miller. What people call me is something else again. I'm the Lambo guy. I'm a professional dasher. It's a tough job, but then I'm a tough guy. Some people don't like an audience when they work. Enough of them have told me so with 1-star reviews that I'm a rich Karen's dream come true. Dashing pays the bills, though. Especially Bill, my bookie, and Bill, my therapist. So when my phone flashed to life with an order in front of me, my heart did a few calisthenics and I took the job. Now I'd planned to take the day off and spend time with a couple of buddies. My buddies travel light and they're fun to have around. One travels in my pocket and the other in the left lane. The last thing I wanted today was orders to deliver, but the customers who requested them were persuasive. Most customers are somehow. Hell, some of them sound like orders themselves, the tall variety, but I can't choose my clients. I stepped out into the rainy parking lot and reviewed the facts. There weren't many, just the generic message I read. This is a delivery requested by the merchant. We don't know the exact items. It was another baffling order, but then you don't hire a dasher for the easy ones. The sudden cramps in the pit of my stomach focused my thoughts like only a loaded 38 can. Questions pour down like rain. Why am I feeling this way? What had I eaten earlier? Why is this happening during peak hours? I had a hunch that before this was over, I'd be sorry I asked. The waves of cramps became more frequent and brutal, rolling in like a tsunami. My body demanded the release of a toxic load that lingered below, and I couldn't care less if my cheeks were resting in the sporty cloth seats of my car or the cool enamel of a toilet bowl. I didn't like the way this story was shaping up, so I decided to write a new ending with my secret role of 2-ply as a co-author. But by the grace of God, before it had come to that, I managed to reach a bathroom in the nick of time. This particular one had a design that suggested someone in the architectural profession had a weird sense of humor. But I wasn't going in there for laughs. I needed relief. A final cramp hit my abdomen a split second before I landed on the seat, and all hell broke loose. I could feel my intestines getting squeezed like an accordion as a polka was played on me with uncontrollable diarrhea. For a solid 2 minutes, the inside of my head was exploding with fireworks. Fortunately, my last thought turned out the lights. Dude, I'm exhausted. Fortunately, my last thought turned out the lights when it left. When I came to, an all-percussion symphony was playing in my head. The acoustics were incredible. The orchestra went on a 10-city tour in my brain, and I had a season pass with front row seats. I did eventually complete my assigned order and got a respectable pay, as well as I figured out why I destroyed a park toilet. But since I felt better for the rest of the day, I felt no need to divulge the information. Besides, the culprit happened to be a favorite fast food drink that seemed to have deceased in quality over time. Case closed. Oh, fuck. All right, guys. 2 hours, 46 minutes. My throat hurts from talking. All right. There we go. High fives and boners. This was a fun one. We had a pastor shit during a sermon. We had a guy throw a turd out a window and it landed on fucking laundry that his girlfriend's mom was doing. That's incredible. No, that was good. It's pretty good, Lambo guy. It's pretty funny. I knew that bathroom was trouble the minute I walked into it. All right, guys. Well, fucking high fives and boners. I think our first Shaturday night live was a success. It's almost 9 o'clock. You guys be safe out there. Have fun. High fives and boners. Thank you very much for spending your Saturday night with me. I really, really appreciate it. And oh, John made it in. That's awesome. Are you doing one next Saturday? I am out of poop stories at this point and voicemails. So I wrapped them all up. And but I'll do another one. If I get like 10 of them, I'll do another one. It's just a matter of when I get them. Robert Cleveland, thanks for the stream, Jay. God bless you. God bless you. God bless all you guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, get out there, live your life, experience the world, go out there, poop all over the highway. And if you do, send them my way. So, all right, high fives and boners. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm going to look into doing a therapy session and recording that. And yeah. And all that shit. So I'm fucking tired. I'm going to go to bed. I've been up for a long time today. Been a long day. All right. See ya.